Hello, and welcome to Beast Fables, a weekly show where we follow the lives of tiny animals in a massive forest. I'm Brian, and I'll be your narrator for today's adventure. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm the founder of Dungeons on a Dime, a publishing imprint creating entry-level tabletop role-playing game content. You can check out all the stuff we've published at doad.co.uk, including, when this goes live, the digital version of Vice and Virtue, which is one of the subsystems we are playing with today. And you can also find all of the rules for the game we're playing, Adventures on a Dime, for free there as well. I am joined today by three very talented illustrators, Ver, Atlanta, and Fraser, and they will introduce themselves in that order. Starting with Ver. Please say hello.
Hello, my name is Ver. I am a comic artist and illustrator. I use they, them pronouns, and today I will be playing, as usual, as Balthazar of Blueberry Pond, a courageous toad knight.
Good show.
Indeed.
Rah, rah, rah. Next up, we have Atlanta.
Hello, I am Atlanta, also a freelance illustrator. I use she, her pronouns, and as per the usual, I will be playing Pipistrel, intrepid, curious little bat. I unfortunately cannot do a bat squeak that is close enough to what they sound like, so you'll just have to imagine it.
Yeah,
It's
we
very
wouldn't hear it
high-pitched.
anyway.
Nope, you wouldn't hear it. You just see.
You just have to
could
like
do it.
open your mouth and
Yep.
yeah.
It's like, did you hear it?
I feel like
You
you
guys
should
hear
get a
it?
dog whistle. You should get a dog whistle blower, and then everyone listening at home, their dogs will be going crazy, and they'll be like, "What is going on?"
That's cruel,
Yeah.
Brian. That's so
Oh,
cruel.
that is so mean. I kind of want to do this now, but yeah.
And the Fraser. Hello, Fraser. I was gonna say something cool, and my mind went blank.
And
Well, see,
the
when
Fraser.
you just want to say when you blanked, I remembered last week's like
The tall are
acceptable,
upright.
Acceptable.
Acceptable and
acceptable
upright.
I was trying to make something cool to like make up for that,
I
but then
know,
my mind just
but
went.
it just came out like I get what you were going for, but it's just like Fraser, he's okay.
He just stands upright. It's just okay. Anyway, hello, I'm Fraser. I go by he, him pronouns, and today I'll be playing Lutzen, the rat.
The rat.
Words are not with me
Okay,
today.
rat.
They're just okay rat. He's injured. He's not a strong boy.
He's a sleepy rat today.
A sleepy rat today. And so is Fraser, so it's I'm method acting.
Oh, yeah. We are playing Adventures on a Dime, as I said before, and it is also available on Roll20. It is really cool because you can just open character sheets, and all of the information is there. You can just like look, it's this cool little thing. You can look at the little skills, then you can change the dice sizes, you can roll them. And when you roll them, it tells you how things go. In this example, Balthazar, with his incredible cunning, has got a critical success and has done much better than expected. And as per our made-up, self-enforced rules, Ver gets to choose who does this session's recap.
So Atlanta did do the recap last week, and Fraser is not part of the recap lineup of his own desires.
I could try it, but I can't guarantee how good it would be.
I mean, do you want to try it?
No.
Okay then. Well, you know what? Because I am more likely than not to not get a critical success, Atlanta, how about you take another shot at recapping this week?
Oh, all right then.
I will do it one week, I promise, guys.
It's okay.
I feel like this week you have a great excuse because Lutzen was out cold for the
Lutzen was
entire-
literally
Yeah.
unconscious, so I'm
Yeah.
like, no.
Legit, it's like Lutzen wasn't there, so I have no head empty, no thoughts. So let me see. Oh God, where did we pick up from last week? So, oh my goodness, I'm having the biggest blank. So we'd obviously
we brought Lutzen back, and Hiccup gave a message for Balthazar to give to Flynn, and then we kind of reconvened with Flynn and Pip meeting up with Balthazar and deciding what we're doing that day.
Oh yeah, of course. So we survived our encounter with the pike. Poor Lutzen, is kind of
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Poor Lutzen is being taken care of, having his wounds tended to, etc. So Balthazar and Pipistrel kind of at a loose end with not much to do aside from potentially sort of help pick up some herbs and things for Hiccup to look after Ludson, and also to deliver a message. So Flynn
Do you want me to
and
help
Pip
out?
is like, yeah, like, you're gonna have to help me out here because I know that like
Yeah.
most of the episodes focus on Balthazar,
so-
like, and I'm
Balthazar,
I don't
Balthazar
mind helping
needed
out.
To... Yeah, sorry.
yeah.
So you delivered the message to Flynn, who was with
Yeah.
Balthazar.
Yes.
Oh no, Balthazar delivered the message to Flynn. Pipistrel had come home with Flynn, having gathered all of Lutson's equipment, sans
Yeah.
one backpack. And ultimately, you tried to make the best of the afternoon to help get the wolf home. Well, not home, but to Blueberry Pond, and
Yeah.
also to gather herbs to restock.
Oh
Hiccup's
my god.
supplies.
Okay. Now I remember
So
now.
that-
It was
yeah,
all the map. It was all the map finding stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
Mhm.
Brain finally clunked into gear there. Goodness me. Yeah. So that was where the first. That was our first adventure following Balthazar around for an afternoon, which was incredibly sweet.
Mhm.
Going and asking the local animals of Aspen Grace like where he could possibly find a map at this late hour of the day, except it's like morning.
Well, no, it's afternoon. It was afternoon.
Oh, it is afternoon, I suppose that's true. So yeah, so Balthazar takes a wonderful little Balthazar trip around and goes to the market, or what would have been like a big bustling market in Aspen Grace, to buy a little present, some snacks, and a present for these map makers who live at the top of one of the trees. And the market is sort of kind of empty. It's sort of not busy and bustling as it would be because obviously there is still a wolf nearby. But there is a wonderful little stall run by an elderly squirrel who sells pottery. It is very sweet. And Balthazar, just showing some of just wonderful initiative, goes over and is so sweet and so charming as per usual. Is offered a teapot or a little brew pot in the shape of a hedgehog.
Yeah.
Which is ideal because one of the map makers is a hedgehog. So there is a back and forth and there is a trade made. Balthazar traded his hand stitched handkerchief that
Yeah.
came from Blueberry Pond. This sort of ornamental. It's like a sort of ornamental, or not ornamental, but you know what I mean.
Decorative.
Decorative. Thank you. Decorative piece, but it's very pretty. And because it's such a beautiful, fine piece of stitching and embroidery, the squirrel also lets Balthazar take some more little cups and bowls and things like that, which obviously we don't know what they are because I imagine that we might see them later on, which is very exciting. So after that very clever, very wonderful little scene of bartering, Balthazar walks on to a hare who is running a worm pretzel stand, but I don't know if are the pretzels fried? Am I being-
Yeah, so it's
Yes, they are
the
fried.
worms are tied into a pretzel knot and
Yes,
then
that's it.
dusted with acorn flour and then fried.
That's it.
Yeah.
And Balthazar just smells the most delicious smell from nearby and goes over and is like, "What on earth is this? It smells so good." And the hare, being incredibly sweet, is like, "Well, you can have one for free because I don't really like them." And I obviously I can't put words in Balthazar's mouth, but it is a life-changing experience
It was.
having a worm pretzel. So I think again, you didn't actually pay for the
Yeah,
worm pretzels.
I
think
just get things for free.
yeah, you're so sweet
Well,
and so lovely.
Balthazar surfed on hair clout from
That's it.
his and
From-
his and
yeah.
Lutson's. Is it? Yeah, his and Lutson's
Yeah, we
excursion
went
into
to
the.
the
stew
stew brewing
pot.
place and gave them a cider and carrots.
Oh yeah, that's true. So yeah, you just get you got more pretzels for free because the hare's like, well, I don't really like them. I don't really eat them. I'll just say that I ate them, and my boss will never know. So laden with wonderful goodies, Balthazar makes the long walk up the tree to the sort of some of the highest little houses up at the top. Knocks on the door and is greeted by an incredibly angry blue tit, who is just, not amused. Balthazar asks if the map maker is in. The blue tit goes in, and an old hedgehog comes wandering out, also in a bad mood. And, he's invited in. He offers the pretzels and the teapot, which I think go down quite well, actually. And the first pretzel is very happily sort of eaten up by the hedgehog, who then also goes to eat the second pretzel that is for the blue tit, who is now out of the room, is upstairs in his room. And Balthazar is like, "Excuse me, no, sir, this is not for you. This is for your companion." And then there's this very sweet, wholesome scene where Balthazar basically becomes an agony aunt slash counselor for like 40 minutes, where he goes out onto the ledge to talk with this hedgehog and asks, I need a map, and it's quite important. And the hedgehog is like, well, why do you need the map? Why do you need it right now? I can't really do this whole map thing without him. And they both stand outside and have a chat for a while, and Balthazar kind of discovers that the hedgehog has vertigo, and encourages very strongly that the hedgehog should also go and tell his companion that he has vertigo and that he wants to move down closer to the ground. And just through sheer extraordinary Balthazar power, we discover that the blue tit, who also makes maps with the hedgehog, is also has vertigo. In their sort of older age, this bird is no longer keen on living up high, and they're just angry at each other, and they have this wonderful communication, and they have made a decision to move. But Balthazar does get his map, which is just wonderful. Skill acquired couples counselor.
Yep.
And it's and as Balthazar is leaving and he's sort of heading back down the stairs, he sees Pip off in the distance, and then we kind of go back a couple of hours to see what Pip and Flynn had been doing, which was just gathering herbs. And Pip is doing her general Pip thing and not really concentrating very hard, but is just generally very enthusiastic and excited about the task at hand. Just runs around, starts picking up stuff, because it looks pretty or smells good, and then she comes and brings it back to Flynn, who then very sort of, is like, these like, none of these are medicinal, or like not medicinal in the ways that you think they are. Like, this one will make you poop a lot. This one will make you pass out. This one is poison oak. Go and wash your hands. So Pip, feeling a little kind of embarrassed and just generally sort of silly as per usual, then starts listening to Flynn, and they together with Pip up in the air and Flynn sort of directing her, they pick the right herbs to take back to Hiccup. And as they are walking back towards Aspen Grace, there's a sort of interesting conversation had between Flynn and Pip Estrelle, where Flynn asks her, I can't remember exactly how it was phrased, but isn't it better when we all sort of use our natural abilities to our advantage? But then we sort of move on to, like, Balthazar was sort of foolish for just wandering up to a wolf, to which Pip Estrelle was like, "Excuse me, how dare you talk smack on my friend when he's not here?" And she kind of decides that she doesn't really want to walk with Flynn back to Aspen Grace, so she takes off and has a little fly on her way, on her own back to Aspen Grace. And then we all meet up. We have we have the herbs, we have the map, and I think we were off to go and see Hiccup and check on Ludson. And that was the last thing we did.
Not quite.
Not quite.
You also, if I remember correctly, sent the wolf off.
Oh, we did send the wolf off. Yes, that was sort of like
so
epilogue,
yes,
I think.
Yeah, it wasn't like an actual scene that we roleplayed, but we kind of went over it.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. I forgot about that.
To kind of summarize that, and Balthazar, you gave both the map and
the
it was
banner.
really tiny and helped the wolf, who told you that their name was Manus. Manus Piercer, or Piercer Manus, because Piercer's their honorific.
Yeah.
He helped the wolf transpose the map into a larger size for them by sort of like moving their claw very finely over the small map, and then the wolf tried to use their larger, or to make a larger map with their other paw, which was cool. And you also gave Manus your burned and then mended Blueberry Pond banner as proof that you had sent them.
Yes.
And they very much appreciated that. They thought that was a beautiful sacrifice that you'd made, because it was very clearly dear to you. And I think at this point, we are going to. Well, that scene, that last episode, ended with you going to check with Hiccup and check on Lutzen, and we are now going to start play with Lutzen.
Roll, Raggy.
Long tense silence.
Is there music
the
playing on
absence of
Roll20?
music makes things infinitely
Yeah,
more
I was like, oh
intense.
no. Lutzen doesn't wake up.
Oh, Lutzen.
Oh my god, Fraser, don't. Oh no.
Lutzen, hello.
Lutzen,
Oh shit.
you want to take a deep breath.
Mhm.
The sensation to take a deep breath grows stronger. There's a prickling burning. You are entirely surrounded by darkness. What do you do?
Lutzen will try and sit up, if possible.
You can't. You realize that the motion of sitting up it doesn't change anything because you're entirely in darkness. You are almost like in a void, if that makes sense. There's nothing to sit up from. It's like floating, but the sensation of being enclosed and trapped, it shrinks in towards you. It feels as if this blackness is crushing you. You need to breathe.
He'll kind of like, if you can't physically take a breath in, he'll kind of like, instead of pinching himself, maybe like tugging on his whiskers a little bit to try and like make him jolt and take a breath in.
Okay. Make a willpower check for me.
Oh no. A success. That is number 5.
5. You do as well as you can. You move your hands sluggishly to where I think it's prior perception is knowledge of where your body is. You move your hands to where you know your whiskers will be, and you pull on them and try to stimulate, and it's a different kind of pain as opposed to the stinging, burning draw and the need in your lungs. Now you have the pulling and tugging on your whiskers. You open your mouth to breathe. Water floods in, and you hold the breath. You don't drag in, but you realize you are surrounded by silty water.
Oh no. He'll just kind of start thrashing in the water and trying to like just start paddling wherever he thinks up might be, just in a direction.
Make a vigor roll for me.
Oh, did I heal at all, or am I still at the D4?
You're still at the D4.
Oh no. Ah, it's a hijinks! It's a 1! Oh no.
You push your arms out and realize you're not in water, you're in the pike's gullet. You thought your plan was going to work by slipping back to get to the gills, but you've just full on been slurped in. You are in the stomach. You are pushing and clawing, and nothing is working, and the walls are squishing and pushing down on you. It is so terrifying. You need to breathe.
I think he kind of just starts panicking a bit.
What does that
Like,
look
there's
like?
nothing. I think he just starts like, again, just kind of thrashing and scratching as much as he can just to try and like scramble away. But even if he knows it's not gonna, and he kind of realizes where he is.
Make another vigor roll for me.
A complication. 3.
You claws digging. You feel pain in your hands as they scrabble against flesh and pull, and there is strain on your arms and your legs, and you try and drag yourself out of this tunnel of constricting flesh.
Ooh.
All of the sensations, none of the sight, it's so intense. And as you move forward, there's a tiny pinprick of grey-green light that you claw towards. You need to breathe. And you can't. And you drag forward towards this light, and it feels simultaneously just within reach and to be shifting away from you.
No.
What do you do?
With that like slight glimmer of hope at seeing an exit, he's just gonna keep going, just keep scrambling and pulling and clawing and trying to grasp on to move and haul himself forwards, kind of fighting against the burning of his lungs. Yeah,
Make a
just
willpower roll for me.
complete desperation. What was that? Sorry, willpower.
Make a willpower roll for me.
Okay. That's a success. That's a 5.
A success. You are clawing and dragging and moving closer to the light, and it gets closer and closer. You see the ring of fangs, like bars on a cage. You've only ever seen a cage once, and it was to keep a... I don't know what animal it was, or would have been. I think maybe it might have been a pine marten.
Mm-hmm.
No, it would have been a stoat. A feral stoat had wandered, or had tried to, break into Odok and eat animals, and it had been captured and put in a cage until, a tribunal could be assembled to decide what to do with them. And the animal was terrified and violent and still matted with blood. And you have this shivering, gross sensation rolling over your silt-soaked skin of both being the stoat in the cage and also fearing what waits outside the cage that stares at you in horror. It's horrible. As you get closer and closer to this cage of fangs, you hear murky and distorted through the water the crooning and screaming of a bat.
Oh no.
Of Pipistrel. And you can't quite understand what's going on. Suddenly the fish reorientates away from the light, and the light fades into darkness, and you feel as if you have been turned upside down inside of the pike, and the fish moves and shifts and starts shaking violently. You take in a deep breath of air. You are in darkness. What do you do? Your heart is pounding in your ears.
Yeah, again, just trying to get out. Just get out of this fish. Clawing, scrambling. Just, it doesn't stop this whole time. You just
make a vigor roll
trying.
For me.
A critical success. That's a 4.
You scratch and flick and bite, and the pounding in your ears turns into a bright ringing that fades as you hear and feel not the pressure of walls and stomach, but of claws on you, trying to hold you down. And you push them off and are lashing and scrambling, and suddenly you feel the weight of a wall pressing into your side, and awareness rushes in around you as you the ringing subsides, you hear a voice, a mole's voice, saying, easy now, calm down, you're okay, and you feel a strange, comforting sensation of the arms not holding, not like grabbing, but instead holding and sort of trying to reassure and calm you down, and you bring yourself back. You are in darkness. There is a thin slither of moonlight illuminating underneath a window shutter that's closed. The smells of herbal poultices, of bark, tea tree, of teas, of like cold herbal teas, of rose, suddenly freshen and almost sting your nose. You realize that you are damp with sweat. And Hiccup, eventually after a time, once you've calmed, gets up and lights a candle, and a thin, reedy, yellow warm light starts to illuminate the surroundings, and you can see that you have smashed jars, scrabbled, the cot's turned over, you've knocked the table over, there's claw marks all over the floor. Your claws are a little bit like red and raw because you've been scratching
like tender.
the floor. Yeah, they're not like bloody, but they're tender.
As soon as he's kind of conscious, he'll just kind of start like retching, kind of coughing. Like, where's Pip? Where's Pip? Is Pip okay? Where's Pip?
You can't get the sensation of river water quite out of your lungs, as if there's like a little dribble of it.
Yeah. Ooh.
Hanging at the bottom, like a clag. And Hiccup puts the candle down away from you, but on the floor, and just comes back and says, "Up, Pip's fine. Pip and the toad. And he kind of tries to recall the name. Balthazar. They came by last night and they checked on you, and you were still asleep, and now it's early morning, and they'll be back in a few hours. They thought it would best if you slept and rested here. Everything's fine. Slow breathing."
And it's like
in,
it kind of
hold.
takes short kind of like stingy breaths, almost like
So
kind of not hyperventilating, but
well, it's on the way to hyperventilating, and
Yeah.
Hiccup responds by like taking your paws and then moving them in time with his breathing, which starts at the same speed and then slows down with you. He's like, okay, and he's kind of like moving the paws out to breathe in, and then in to breathe out, if that makes sense, like bellows.
yeah.
And it's like, right, okay, slowly, okay, deep, hold it, okay, let it out, hold it, let it in, and he slows your breathing down, and you feel the panic recede, and then he just sort of lets you sit there and gives you the space to come to terms with what you're thinking and feeling.
Yeah. I think Listen's just staring at the ground and kind of like looking over his kind of raw paws, and kind of glances around at the broken jars and the upturned cot and just the markings and scratches that he's made. I don't think he'll really address them, but he'll just kind of ask, "How long was I asleep for? How long have I been out?"
Most of the afternoon, until now, I'd say maybe half a day, which was good. You needed the rest. You went through some very, very tough stuff. You were really beat up when Balthi brought you in. I'm glad you got the sleep. I just didn't think you'd have such a strong nightmare, I guess.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Are the others safe? Were they hurt at all?
A little bruised. Pipistrel's a little bruised. But otherwise, they're all fine. They're sleeping at the hall, the town hall, where Leodogrant set them up, I believe.
Okay.
They're okay.
I think he'll just kind of sit and just breathe for a wee while and just let it all kind of wash over him, or not wash over, just kind of process.
Yeah. What Hiccup does is he puts his stove on. He kind of like starts a little fire in the stove, which provides light. He opens the windows to let some of the fresh night air in. It's like 20 degrees, so it's warm. It's not too sticky, but it's a little bit fresher than the sort of like the
yeah, kind of fragrant, gammy kind of air.
Yeah, like night sleep air. It kind of like freshes things up. He starts to boil a kettle for some tea, and he puts a blanket around you. After
Does the window look out?
the-
Does it look out?
Go ahead.
Like, can you see up to the sky?
Yeah, you can.
Like out of the window?
There's like a couple, like there's like a corona of branches around, if that makes sense, but you get a clear line of the sky.
Yeah, I think let's all kind of like get a wee blanket and just kind of shimmy over next to the wee window, and just kind of look out and just kind of stare at the moon for a while, and just kind of calm his breathing and just take in the deep breath of fresh air, and just kind of sit with it.
Hiccup takes a stool from somewhere else in the cabin and says, "Yes, that's a good idea. Some fresh air will do you right. Just sit on this and have a little stew." And he brings over like a little clay mug of just regular like tea, not the sleeping stuff that you had before.
KO.
Falls out window. Campaign over. And you listen to mostly insects. I'd say that you don't hear necessarily the chorus of birdsong because most of the birds are actively asleep, or don't have a reason to have a birdsong, if that makes sense. In a different world to the ones that humans live in. So there's sort of like a quiet still of just the wind and the rustling of leaves, and like the cricketing of and buzzing of different insects as they wake up. There is you're looking, I don't know direction, sort of like northwest, so not the rising of the sun. The sun rises behind Aspen Grace in the direction you're looking, so you sort of see the sky very slowly turning from like the darkest black to a deep blue to purple, very slowly kind of creeping around. How does that make you feel?
I think just the calm of it and like the very gentle kind of comforting noises, and I think he's used to kind of staring out at night. I think when he's kind of up late working, and he's used to seeing the stars and the moon, and just it's like kind of a calming respite for him. I think just kind of watching the morning slowly, or the kind of the darkest point of night become very slowly early dawn. It's just very peaceful.
You get the tea from Hiccup, who gives it to you with a little smile and a nod, and says, "If you need anything, if you want to talk, or if you just want some space or a biscuit, just let me know."
I think a biscuit would be fab, please.
A little bit of sugar, a little bit of energy is always good. And he kind of goes over to one of the shelves. You follow his gaze, and you notice that he's just drawn a privacy curtain over the whole area where the cot was, and the sort of like more like medical like doctor's room or hollow where he did a lot of his work. He's just drawn a curtain over it, and it's just all of the damage is just covered. And he goes over to a jar of little baked things he has near the stove, and he brings it back and he puts it on the windowsill, and he says, "Have as many as you want." Well, 3. More than 3, you might feel a bit sick.
Watson will kind of chuckle a little bit, and he'll take the 3, but he'll maybe like pocket 1 for later.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, spicy. I think while name what's the mole's name again? I've completely forgotten.
You wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know. Yeah.
Then introduces himself. He says, as he sees you struggling to like say what his name is, he goes, "Oh, You were very in and out when they brought you in. My name is Hiccup. I am a stitcher. I help restore and heal and put back together other beasts.
Well, I seem to have all my toes and fingers, so you've done a good job. And I think
it wasn't necessarily the toes or fingers I was working on. It was your side, and he kind of gestures under the blanket, and it's like all of the different sensations of your body are slowly coming back to you as the shock recedes. You feel a dull throbbing on your ribs where you know that the pike kind of half bit you, it scraped you as you came out. And you move the blanket back and you see that there is bandages all around your center, essentially, that stop where your ribs pivot on your body. So like the upper half of your chest. And on your right side, they are a little bit dark brown, where they've kind of bled a bit, but it's old.
Yeah, okay.
And he says, they were quite clean cuts. So long as you don't do any extreme activity, they should heal quite fine. There's some poultices that I've been able to put together with some herbs that your friends collected.
Oh, okay. Good. Thank you. And he'll kind of, I think instinctively he'll kind of reach up to his little snout and kind of like count how many whiskers he has left.
I'm gonna roll for that.
I can't remember how many he had last. I think it was maybe 8.
He had 8, I think.
Yeah.
So you check your whiskers, and you have little growths coming in. They've maybe being in the water, maybe scrubbed some pores. You have 12 whiskers, 8 long ones, and 12 little whiskers coming through. You know, maybe not being around like steam and beetles and all this energy has given you some growth. You know, it's not bad.
I think you're going to say, you've done a bang-up job. I've got more whiskers coming through as well. Oh, fantastic.
And Hiccup kind of looks and goes, is whisker growth a problem for rats?
Not commonly, no. They tend to expire a bit more easily for me.
Hiccup kind of nods and says, and how long has this been going on for?
Well, it tends to come with the experiments and the line of work, but a while.
And he kind of nods and goes, experiments. Oh, wait, you wouldn't happen to be with the Legion?
Am I with the Legion? No.
No.
What can you remind me what the Legion do? Would I know what the Legion is?
Well, you have only... I don't know if Lutzen has heard of the Legion. Wait, I need to remember the world building that we did.
Yeah, in a general world building sense, the Legion is, just as a reminder for Fraser, the player.
The Tusk Legion.
Right,
they
that was
are
fighting in
a
the Boer War.
volunteer army of all sorts of different beasts that rallied together to fight off the Boers. They are sort of a conglomerate of animals. And
right.
There's a general sense of unease in the south as now that the war is over, no one knows what's going to happen to all of these animals concentrated in a large place.
I wanted to say, I believe there were Legion people in what is the town that the fire was outside of? Willowmoot, because they thought that Balthazar is a legionnaire because he's a toad, and they were like, go talk with him. So, and Lutzen, before Fraser joined as Lutzen, was technically in like the same tavern as them, staying in the same place.
Right.
I think you, if I remember correctly, because this is a while ago now in real time, you aren't with the Legion. You're a craft paw.
Yes.
But the craft paws, especially your invention, had been a deal had been made to send it to the beaver town of the dam one. There's a map name. I'm going to go
Bramble
check the
Dam.
map. Bramble Dam. There we go. You had been sent to Bramble Dam with your beetle. That was the whole motivation of why you were going. Yes, you've heard of the Tusk Legion, but you're not with them.
Yeah. Okay, good.
I feel like
good
you
little
had your head
refresher.
down enough making the beetle that you didn't actually really understand why you were going there. You were just like, oh, they want it there. Okay, this is a
Yeah, I
nice
feel like he
experiment
kind
to
of
have it walk.
he's heard of it, but he just kind of completely glossed over him as to what it actually like is and or means.
Yeah.
And he's just Tusk Legion? No. I'm a craft paw.
And then he kind of like a second of like, huh? Oh, yeah. Oh, of course, a craft ball. That makes sense as well.
Yes, a bit more paws on.
Yes. Well, that would explain the whiskers. Sorry.
Yes.
I guess this means that it's not like a family thing or like a rat thing. It's just a hazard of the job. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
He relaxes a little bit. You get the feeling that he thought you were serious and this was a problem and that he should probably be writing this down.
Some say it's careless. I think it's just it's a side effect of the job.
Okay, well, I think a side effect you should be enjoying right now is a rest. Have that biscuit. I'm gonna clean up a little bit. Don't mind me. Yeah.
I'm sorry for the mess. And he'll kind of like maybe try to use his feet to kind of like scuffle, kind of shove little piles of stuff out the way while he's sitting.
The minute you start trying to do things, no. You are resting. Don't do anything. Just sit there. Look out the window if it helps.
Okay.
And you hear the gentle clinking of like broken pots being like swept up and things from behind the curtain. He's trying his best not to make you feel guilty.
Watson definitely feels guilty. He'll kind of like snuggle up in the wee blanket and just kind of like ruffle up a little bit. Maybe like kind of ruffle up his fur a little bit and just kind of sit with the wee cuppa.
Yeah.
And just kind of stare out at the sky. Until it probably nods off pretty quickly, I would imagine.
I feel like the head's resting on the windowsill, and then it's like 5 minutes later.
Like a dog looking out like a dog looking out of a car window, just kind of little like chin resting and just.
It's a dreamless sleep this time. It's one of those strange sleeps where you blink and suddenly you're awake again, but you know hours have passed, and you feel much more rested for it as well. There were no thoughts in this second sleep. It's just the passage of time, and you feel the sensation that wakes you is the warmth of sunlight on your snout, and you kind of you lift up a little bit, and it's sort of maybe like mid-morning. You look round. The biscuit jar is gone. The mug of tea has been removed. You still have the blanket. The curtain has been pulled back. There are stains on the floor of medicinal pastes, and the smell is still quite strong. But now all of the shutters are open. It's much more fresh. It is much warmer. It's maybe like 30 degrees outside, so like 25 inside. But there is a strong breeze that is occasionally causing like the room to creak and lean slightly as the branch shifts a little bit in the wind. It's a little bit like being on a ship, but the ship is just on a gentle bobbing water.
Got you.
It's not like a storm, like you're waving around or anything. And Hiccup is asleep in a chair. Sort of like not a rocking chair, but that style of like with the arms and like stuff. And it's leaning against the now upright table, which has got some things laid out on it, including some breakfast. He's just sort of like...
Oh.
I feel like mole snoring is...
Snuffly.
Yeah, because they've got the long snooty bits.
Yeah. I think Lutzen will kind of carefully kind of get up, probably wincing a little bit and the kind of stretching out of muscles and limbs and obviously his new kind of injury. Maybe we'll kind of wander over to the stove and kind of get that going and put on a little pot. As he kind of had seen, I've forgotten the name again. The mole. Hiccup, that's it. Seen Hiccup do earlier. And we'll just put like a wee pot on of something just for the both of them, and hopefully that'll kind of softly wake Hiccup up.
Okay. I want you to roll a D. I'm just going to roll a D4. I don't want you to. I'm going to roll it. I'm just going to.
Okay. Ooh. Oh.
So you take some tea out and you start brewing it in the hot water, and it has a very strong, earthy, almost like caramelized honey smell to it.
Ooh.
And you're brewing it, and maybe like 5-10 minutes of letting it steep, you kind of walk over and pour it out into a cup, and Hiccup kind of goes, and his little beady eyes kind of blink a little bit, and he goes, "Oh, hello, you're up. Ah, sorry, I must have nodded off." And oh, and he kind of sees you've got the 2 cups out, and he goes, "Have you had any of that to drink?"
No, it's freshly brewed. I thought I would get a little something for the morning. Thank you so much for all your help. You seemed like you're enjoying your sleep.
And he kind of, as he's speaking, he's kind of putting his claw up, like,
He's just like about to start pouring it.
It's very tasty. Have just a small sip to start. Just a small sip. It's very bitter.
Oh.
And he lets you pour out a cup for him, which he drinks straight, and he's fine with it. And he's like, this is very nice.
Okay, I'll take a wee sip. No.
God, it's foul. Oh, it like cloys on the tongue, and it's brown and it's watery and it's gross.
Oh.
Why would anyone drink this? Oh, it smells really good, but the minute
that kind
you
of
have
like he takes a wee sip, and it's that kind of like Howl's Moving Cat, or the like kind of Miyazaki, like the kind of shiver, like the whole body shiver. Yeah, and it's just like, whoa, and he pulls a wee face.
Hair poof.
Yes, all his hair pops up, and he's like, whoa.
And Hiccup kind of smiles a bit and goes, "Haha, more for me. I get this from some Fairwinders. It is good when you're doing long shifts and working. I drank a lot of it in the Legion, but it's a bit of a delicacy now, especially with not many Fairwinders coming through with the summer ending. Still, it's nice. It's a very much an acquired taste."
Yeah, Watson, that's exactly what he says. Like, it's definitely an acquired taste, and he still kind of like winces a little bit and like kind of screws up an eye to kind of like, whoa.
Hiccup kind of snortles a little bit and says, "There's some water in the bucket over there, where you got the water from the tea."
Yeah.
And you're allowed to, without any offense, wash your mouth out.
He definitely. Yeah.
So
you say you're from the Legion?
Yes. Well, I was in the Legion. Yes. And he sort of nervously laughs a little bit, and then kind of stares into his coffee and thinks a little bit.
Well, I think from a lot of us here in the Bristly Woods, we can definitely say thank you for everything you've done and helped with.
Oh, don't thank me. I just helped clean up, so to speak. I didn't.
Still important.
Balls.
It's every paw that helped was a helping hand and worthy of thanks.
Oh, I mean, I had a little motivation to help. Well, several little motivations. One of them being, if I didn't, then everyone might die. That's not a great.
That's a fairly motivating, yeah.
But I definitely learned some things. It was probably the best opportunity I've ever had to see so many different beasts and to work with so many different beasts. There are some surprising differences between us. I mean, you'd think we were all the same. We all have fur. Well, some of us don't have fur. But, I mean, there are so many of us with fur and with claws and with fangs and little sensitive noses. And yet, we're so different. It's fascinating.
Let's not kind of still be kind of like sipping on like a little glass of water at this point.
Mm-hmm. He takes another sip.
I'm just kind of quite happily listening, I think. Yeah.
And he says, it's so much better if you aerate it. Oh, lovely flavors.
I'll take your word for it.
He says, Well, it's a blessing and a curse. I really struggle to get going in the mornings without it now. But you see that as he's drinking it, over a period of minutes, he's already more vibrant, more awake, getting up and kind of shuffling around. He says, I dug this out from my old days, speaking of the Legion, and I think it would be a lot more useful to you than it is to me right now. And he kind of picks up a sort of a very... how to describe it? It's sort of like a corset. You notice that it had more length to it, but it's been not trimmed, but taken in, and the flaps have been then folded up into what is now like a sort of a waistcoat jacket and sewn in. So none of the material is wasted, but it is very much reformed to be much more of a padded jacket. And there are metal like fish hooks, if that makes sense, to hook it together as opposed to it being buttons.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And there's lots of them, so it's a very tight, snug fit. And then there are some straps on the other side to adjust it to fit better.
Okay.
And he kind of goes and says, "This, I mean, I used to wear this in wetter weather and in the winter to kind of keep the rain off. But I think this would be good for keeping your wound on your side covered and clean and protected. If I may,"
Sure.
he kind of like offers to help you put it on.
Sure. Thank you very much. Are you sure?
Oh, yes, please. I'm not going to get any use out of it now that I'm home, and I would be bad of me to only take half care of someone.
Well, it's very much appreciated, and by all means, and he'll kind of like lift up his little paws to kind of, or it's a jacket, so I guess he'll kind of hold its arms out.
Yeah, so it's like a waistcoat. So there aren't sleeves.
Mm-hmm,
There are sleeves. There are sleeves, but they have been removed.
Right.
You can see that they would have used like toggles to be put on, and the reason he's removed the sleeves is that they just would not fit a rat.
Yeah, that's
very
fair.
much mole sized, and so he kind of fits it around, says okay, and he sort of undoes some of the straps and redoes them to better adjust and make it fit. It's not perfect, but it is very snug around the ribs and kind of flares out a little bit towards your legs, and it is very thick and padded. It's quite warm, especially for summer. But he says if you wear this and just keep it on for the next few days, it should very much protect that part of the rib that's been injured. Make sure to take it off at night so you can let the fur and the skin breathe. And I recommend, if you can, in clean boiled water, wash it so that if there's any leakage, any Brian is forgetting the word. Pus, that's it. If there's any pus or any discharge, if you just clean the wound, but also clean this as well, the presence of those things isn't good. It's actually quite bad. It's bad things coming out of the body, so washing it is a very good idea.
Okay. And he's kind of like trying to take mental notes. Like, okay, wash and boil water. He's kind of muttering to himself.
Yeah. And he gives you some more care advice that I think Lutzen will be very good at retaining. For making sure the wound is clean. So on this note, I'd like to say that everyone has had a full rest. So all of your dice are restored to base. Okay. Except, Lutzen, you have also sustained 1 damage to
vigor.
Your vigor. So everything's back up to base, and then you have vigor, but then lower than 1.
Yeah, that's fine. That's where it is. Cool.
You also have gained Legion Jacket. It is a dark crimson. You don't know how they get this dye, but it is a very dark, luscious red. It's a little faded on the shoulders from like sun damage, if that makes sense. It's seen some wear. It's a couple years old, but it is very strong and sturdy.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Did you say it was red-ish?
Yes, like a dark crimson.
Cool. Lovely, Fashion rat, here she comes.
Fashion rat. And so, on that sort of note, I feel like Pipistrel and Balthazar, you would have start showing up at Hiccup's house/clinic. The night before, you had checked on him, and he was fast asleep, and Hiccup said just come back in the morning. He should be feeling much better then. And so you met up with Leo de Grance, who you explained to that Manus, the wolf, is going to be going. And he was extremely grateful, and he said, please stay in the town hall and come back in the morning, and we can figure out what your reward is.
Oh yeah, I forgot that we declared unto him that we're gonna be doing stuff and wanting provisions for the road, I think. Cool. Well, I guess so. Are we meeting with Leo Dugrance first, or do we want to go to Lutzen first?
Well, I feel you would have gone to Lutzen, so this is that's what's happened last night, and now you're meeting up with Lutzen.
Yeah. So when we arrive, is Lutzen, are you kind of ready to go? Are you still sitting down and looking really sad?
I think he's somewhere between, his stuff will be kind of organized, but he'll kind of just be just chilling. Maybe not moping, but just sitting probably out the wee window again.
Oh.
Just little chin resting on the windowsill again, and just kind of like a little sad dog at the window.
Oh no!
Is this a window overseeing, would we see Lutzen as we're coming, or Lutzen would see us? DM?
I think yes. Have you seen that picture of the dog in Venice that has a little pillow?
Yes!
Yes!
Oh, wait,
It's
what?
like that, except sadder.
Dog in Venice? Wait, what?
No.
Okay,
It's
there's this popular dog in Venice who always leans out of this very specific window, and now it's like a tourist attraction.
Oh, I'm gonna look it up. Oh my god! Oh, I love
found it. Okay, I was gonna copy it into chat, but
It's incredibly sweet. I love this dog.
That's very much the mood right now. He's just this first one. I'm gonna paste it into the chat. Oh, I closed Discord. Damn it. Well, it will arrive in Discord at some point. Yes.
Well, Balthazar, as soon as we arrive within a distance where we can see Lutzen, Balthazar will start waving and calling out and say, "Oh, Lutzen! Lutzen!"
I think Lutzen's little face, he'll just completely pick up, and he'll just kind of start grinning, just friends.
Oh, so sweet.
Hello! It's so good to see you, friend. He's just yelling outside into this window. It hasn't occurred to him to actually enter. He's just gonna be standing outside and yelling.
Oh, that's really nice.
Hello. I heard you guys have had a busy day, busy evening.
I helped mediate a angry couple.
Oh, that's not okay. That's not what I was expecting you guys to be up to. But sure, I hope it went well. It's so good to see you both.
Yeah, I think.
Well, you should come down to us. Oh, actually, no. We should go inside. And he's going to say, "We're going inside now. We'll see you in a moment."
I can't wait for it.
Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, Pippa's excited. He does excited bat squeak and follows Balthazar inside.
Oh.
I feel Balthazar, I want you to just make a cunning roll for me.
Yes.
God. You know I can't do that, Brian.
That's why I'm asking you to it.
It's complicated.
Oh god.
I feel like
to my brain.
you take the most direct route to get to Lutzen, which means you have to double back because you reach a dead end where you can still see Lutzen, but you've gone down and you can't actually get up to the clinic, and you have to kind of go back round again. And it's sort of this back and forth of I'm coming, and then no, I'm not, and wait this way, and eventually a neighbor sticks their head out of a door and goes, "It's still morning. Up those stairs, please. I'm trying to nap."
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
He's gonna take the proper route around.
And you do reach Lutzen, safe and sound.
Eventually.
Yeah. Oh you look so much better. And listen, that is a very fetching jacket.
Isn't it just? Look, and he'll do like a little kind of twirl, like a little
Does it
spin
have
around.
pockets?
I don't
It
know. And he'll
does.
kind of
There
like,
are some pockets on the outside of the jacket
love it.
that small things could be kept in.
Yes. I feel like there's, for some reason, I feel like there's like a little like back pocket, like one like a little pouch at the back or something.
Yes.
I don't know. Just feel like it's there. I'm willing it into the world. Make it happen, Brian.
I think like
I feel like
Oh, no, 'cause
okay,
it had,
so it's
all
kind
the
of like a denim
attachments and stuff,
jacket
didn't it?
where like there's because the coat's folded up, you've got like a second massive pocket that rings the entire jacket on the inside.
Excellent.
It doesn't have a pocket on the back because that's where like the straps are.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
But if you open the
yeah,
coat, you could like
excellent.
smuggle something in.
Oh, absolutely. Fantastic. And he'll kind of like, his eyes will light up and he'll just kind of snap his head to Balthazar and like, it's got pockets. It's fabulous.
You can think of a million
Balthazar.
different uses for each
Yes.
of the pockets. So like, oh, I could put my spanner here, and then I could some bolts in here, and ooh, this would be a great place to hang my oil canister from, and yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think like sorry. I was just gonna say, it's like Pip is like walking around Lunson as like, he's sort of showing off this new jacket and like looking at like this like the stitching and like where it's faded in places, and she's thinking it's like, what she says like, oh, you know, my parents would love something like this. It's such a well made, what a beautiful piece of stitch work. And she's like running her like her hand like over like the seam on like the side of the jacket.
I feel you're really nosy. Make a cunning check for me.
Make a cunning check. Yeah, I'm so good at this. Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, you are. That's what it says.
You get an instinct. You're like, this is really good. No. And you immediately spin Lutzen round, and then you grab and twist like the neck up, and you see that your mum made this jacket.
No way. What?
You're like, no, I recognize. She does a stitch just like this, and you're like, and you realize that this is a it's got a little tag in it. I don't know if animals would have tags in clothes. They do now. I've decided.
Yeah.
They do.
They
that.
stitch.
They'd have like a signature.
Mum has stitched the logo of the store of the
Yeah.
tailor shop.
For a little bit of world building, Pipistrel's real name is Pipistrel Silkenworm. So like she is from the Bat clan, the Bat tribe, or whatever you call of Silkenworm. So they have the logo for her parents' shop is a little worm on a leaf.
Oh, that's cute as hell. I love it.
That logo being on the jacket, she would run around and like stand in front of Balthazar and that's like, this is one of my mum made this one. And she's like really excited and like she's sort of
Lutzen, you met Pipistrel's mum?
No.
Where did you get this jacket then?
Oh
Yeah.
Hiccup was so kind in lending it to me and giving it to me. It was a Legion jacket.
Pip is just like, I don't understand how. What? She's very excited.
So
'cause she,
he explains. He says, lots of work has been commissioned from Odoak Tailors. I believe. I wouldn't necessarily know that. This jacket's quite old. And you do remember, you know, at the beginning of all of this, that there were a lot of orders coming through for... Not necessarily... You didn't think of it at the time as uniform, but just the protective clothes for beasts that were fighting against the boars. And the orders came through from a variety of different guilds, or like they all pooled in resources to essentially put together these resources.
Pip is sort of thinking back, and because she would have kind of still been close-ish to, like, she would have been in Odoak, like when the Boar War started, and like she probably would have seen like the first orders for like the Legion jackets like coming through and being just like, you know, she'll sort of think back and think, oh yeah, that makes so much sense now. And gosh, my parents were so busy with all these orders. There were so many of them. She's like having a little lost in thought moment, but she's like, she's very happy and excited to see like her parents' work just like kind of out in the wild, as it were, you know.
Oh,
It's so sweet.
Balthazar will just turn to Hiccup and say, well, you have our thanks for getting Letson back into one piece. He really looked very poorly the other day, but my goodness, my man, you have worked a miracle on him, it seems.
And Hiccup takes this very, bashfully and says, oh, no, I did nothing. I mean, honestly, all the praise should go to Lutson for recovering so quickly.
Lutson! Incredible!
Oh.
And it'll probably just be like a compliment battle of like Lutson will kind of like bristle up a bit and say, but I couldn't have done it without Hiccup here. And I'm like, oh, Hiccup!
Hiccup! Your help was immeasurable!
Don't undersell yourself.
Oh god.
Yeah. So I could roll to see how long this goes on for. So 4 days later.
Oh no.
So I feel like, is there anything you want to like talk to Hiccup about, or cover, or what do you want to do next? What's the vibe, my beast dudes, my boods?
No boots.
Balthazar would just kind of ask, how shall we take care of Lutson as he continues on, or as we continue on our way? Do we need to apply any medicines or anything of the kind, like Pipistrel had to for her wing?
I think Lutson will kind of almost start like rattling off like his notes in his mind of like, okay, wash it twice a day or like once a day, let it breathe, and just kind of like
yeah. And
giving all the notes.
As you go through this list comprehensively, Hiccup rustles in the back where in the doctor creche, and takes out a pot that's cracked on one side and says, "This is an antiseptic salve. You can apply this after you've washed it. You should just every night for 5 nights should be just enough in there, and that should help it heal through." And he kind of points to a very crude drawing on the side of it, done very much like just ink dipped in it, like a quill dipped in ink and then drawn on. This is the shape of the leaf that I made this poultice with. If you find more of it and you need to make more, just mash that up, mix it with a little bit of boiled water, make sure it's boiled, and then if you can, find a little bit of this root, and then if you leave it, that'll keep it together, and that makes more of the salve. Just make sure that it's like a 2-to-1 ratio.
Okay.
Because I went looking for herbs yesterday with Flynn, are these any kind of plants and roots and things that Pip might recognize, having actually been told, like, no, you idiot, this is what we're looking for?
Yeah, the herbs, the leaves were the ones that you needed to go find, not the roots though.
Perfect. Okay, well that's good. So I think Pip will take a little mental note of the leaves that would be helpful for Ludson, and it's like, oh, I know those. I will see if I find more of them.
Okay, so.
Dear Hiccup, I would also let you know that we have given your message to Line Finder Flynn.
Oh, fantastic! That's great.
He's very difficult to read, so I don't know if he was happy or sad to receive it, but if I'm not mistaken, he did say thank you, so I suppose he wasn't that angry.
I'll bear that in mind. I've not met Line Finder Flynn before. I've met other brain blank Tanners. There we go. I've met other Tanners. There's one I very much remember. She did me a good kindness. But I would.
I'm smiling so much right now.
It would be good to connect with more of them. I feel they're going to be very important, more than they have been before. And they get a very bad rap. If you talk about Tanners, people say such mean things. I think they're just differently understood. They have a purpose like we all do. as dark as that might be sometimes. I'm getting ahead of myself. Thank you for delivering the letter. I'll see if I can catch him before he leaves. In fact, I'm probably gonna do that now. Do you know if he's still around? He hasn't responded.
We did. Well, we would have seen him earlier today, right? When we dropped off the map to the wolf.
Was that in the morning or the evening? I can't remember.
I don't
From last time.
know.
Because we kind of expedited it. I'm not sure if there was like a time kind of set to it. Probably after you dropped off.
Yeah, you gave the map last night because you had it.
Mm-hmm.
It was to make sure that Manus had it before he left.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna say for conversations like yes, you have seen Flynn around. You've seen him on the outskirts of town.
Yeah, he
and
doesn't
he
enter.
acknowledged you.
Yeah. Well, Balthazar will say, Linefinder Flynn doesn't really enter the town because he's a little bigger than most of his denizens. But last we saw him, he was on the outskirts hanging about and minding the town and making sure that everything's running smoothly.
That's good to hear. If you just point him out and you point out the window at the general direction you saw him, he says, "Well, he gathers up like a straw hat and a bag and a book, and a little pot of ink, and he says, "Well, I do want to catch him. I know they can be quite flighty, so I'm gonna go. Can I do anything for you? If you need me, I'll be back in a few hours."
Well, I believe we might be setting out in the next few hours, so not myself. I don't think I need anything, but he looks at Pip or Lutsen.
Pip shakes her head and says, and sort of gestures to the bruises that she has on like her chest and like her arms and things like. These are so superficial; they'll heal in no time.
And he kind of looks and checks you over and says, "Yes, you got a little bashed up, but they already seem on the mend." He kind of pushes the hair back and says, "Ooh, that's gone all purple, but that's a good thing. If it stayed yellow, that means that it's gonna take longer to heal. It's not quite developed. So it's on the path. Just don't do this." And he pokes the bruise a little forcefully. Ow! He says, "Don't do that, and you'll be fine." And he has a little mischievous smile.
Oh.
Pip kind of returns the mischievous smile with her own little toothy mischievous smile.
I think Lutsen will kind of just say, "No, you've done so much for me. I really can't thank you enough." And in fact, I think he'll kind of like scurry through his backpack and kind of, as a thanks for the jacket and for the care, please do. And he kind of holds out the little copper music box as like a thanks.
Oh,
It's like a trade for a trade. This is such a fine piece of kit.
And he takes the music box and he kind of looks it over and goes, "Oh, this is a lovely little chest." And he opens it and then it starts playing music. And he's like, "Oh!" And he kind of almost fumbles it. And he goes, "Oh, this is very fun." And he kind of closes the box and says, "Let me." Oh, and he kind of runs upstairs and kind of stashes it away and kind of pops his head down from higher up in his apartment building. He says, "Thank you very much. That's very much appreciated. Thank you." And he's very happy to have had that.
Oh,
that's so sweet.
That's all right. Okay. You're more than welcome, friend. Thank you so much. Thank you again. And what kind of... Right then, troop, are we ready to plod on?
Plod on we shall.
Okay.
Yes, we
Thank
will be
you.
on our way.
Thank you, Hiccup, and like they're
Thanks, Hiccup.
leaving with like a bye.
I feel like you actually there's like you're goodbye, and then there's like an awkward like minute where you're like, "Oh, actually we're going the same way. I have to go down these stairs too, and lovely weather." And but eventually you do.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna say Balthazar like does not see this as awkward at all, and is in fact like thrilled.
Oh, of
Is
course he
going
is.
To compliment, is gonna whip out his own boater hat and compliment Hiccup on his hat and be like, just that sun, am I right? And because I imagine moles don't really like strong sun either, so he's gonna bond with him over that.
Yeah,
And how warm
he's
it's
like,
been.
"Oh, I've gotten used to it. I find if a nice long brimmed hat, and it just helps keep the shade a little bit, and then I don't squint so much. But I do have to watch where I'm walking, especially when I'm so high up.
Balthazar will kind of empathize with that and just talk about woes of all these little shared aspects of their species. And then I guess we all part ways.
And then,
So
almost
cute.
too soon you part ways, and you think, oh, he'd be such a swell guy to hang out with.
Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
I adore Hiccup. I really do. He's so sweet.
I love Hiccup.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose for the benefit of anyone who may not be super aware, in a kind of solo game, a little side story that I ran with Brian, I was playing as a tanner hare named Greer, and Hiccup was a character in that story whom Greer kind of ran an errand for and had a chance to speak with, and I'm very fond of Hiccup because of this.
He's just such a soft lad.
He is such a soft lad.
So, what do you guys want to do now?
Well, I guess I need to. We don't have a map.
Yeah, can
currently.
you put us on the world map?
Yeah.
But before you go to the map, I think you need to go to Leodegrance and get your stuff, don't you?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I suppose
Or if
that's
there's
true.
anything else you wanted to tie up before you left.
I mean, aside from Leo de Grand no, because I think the next thing we were going to do is head towards where, a while ago we were looking for Chipper's sort of like dumped diary, which is
that's like all the way over
like
train.
yeah, it's like Bramblefork.
Yeah.
So we were heading. Yeah, so we were going to head towards Bramblefork and then go from there. Yeah, so we're there in Aspen.
And we actually have a thing to do in Bramblefork. I wrote it down in my notes.
Oh yeah.
Karod, a mole, does a lot of digging. He gave us a letter from Sheila. Karod. Oh, sorry. We're supposed to find a mole called Karod. The person that we got the music box from gave us a letter for them. And Karod is brown with a red bandana. That's all I have written down. But they're in Bramblefork, or one of those, like, one of those towns over there. Anyway, sorry, just remember that. Just on our way to Lyon de Grance, Balthazar, I always forget the name of my own character. Balthazar will, because Lyon de Grance is probably at the market, right? That's where we met him last time.
Yes.
So Balthazar will say, I've had a chance to visit the market the other day, and I struck up conversation with a lovely old fellow, and we spoke about art and pottery, and long story short, I have something for you two. And he's going, out of the handful of pottery, he's going to grab a bowl and a mug with like a little spoon that kind of rests on the side. So the bowl is a nice little hand-painted piece that he gives to Pipistrel, and it's painted blue with little like white stars and the moon. It's kind of like it's a nice and classy design. It's not like quiche or anything. It's like a little lovely handmade piece. And for Lutzen, it's a mug, and it's a fairly simple mug. It's glazed and all, but then the little spoon that comes with it kind of curls around the edge. You can kind of hook it on the edge, and when you lift it up, it's like a little mouse or rat or something like that, and its little tail is the part of the spoon that you hold, and you can kind of hook it around the edge so it's kind of resting there as you have tea or something.
Oh, that's so
very
sweet.
good.
There was a whole series of them, of all sorts of different animals with their tails like that. So like otters and stoats and other mustelids. But you saw the rat and you were like, oh, it's Lutzen.
Yes, yeah. Lutzen would do that if he found a giant mug.
That is so cute. I think Pip would take her ball and like run one long sort of spindly finger like over like the painted stars and things, and then is like kind of like almost lost for words. Very unusual for her, but like she's just like she's never been presented with something so beautiful before. Like,
but I think it's like charming more than like a beautiful intricate piece. Is just like a very a very sensibly lovely little piece of
Yeah.
of,
But like,
of pottery.
yeah, but I think like for Pip, it's like for Pip, I think for her this is like it's kind of beautiful because she just doesn't have anything like this. You know, her parents are tailors, but like all the fine clothes they made and stuff were never really for like they weren't for like her. They were always like pieces that they've been asked to make and stuff like that. She's always had to add her own like adornment to like things that she owned.
Mm-hmm.
So like having something that she doesn't have to do, like is already so lovely without her having to do anything. She's like, oh my god, like she's really excited. She doesn't know what to say. She's so touched by this very sweet gift.
And I think like when you give Lutson his water mug and you say like, I thought it was something Lutson would do, he was like, yes it would.
That's so cute.
Lutson is now
Thanks so
designing
much.
a mech rat that hangs on mugs.
Yep. It's like Spider Rat.
I have just put a little drawing that I did of
Is that Hiccup?
Hiccup
Oh!
coffee.
Yes.
Because Hiccup
love
also,
the
I think I described this
tattoo.
the first time you saw him, but he has an arm tattoo amongst his fur of different herbs.
I love
didn't
it.
know that.
Oh, that's cute.
And he wears some little bits of jewelry as well. Sort of
I
like
love it.
they can get pushed onto the armor because he can't put his fist through anything because his paws are so huge. So
Yeah.
he kind of like talks, but like a little foot bangle and an arm bangle, and he's got little
That's
coat on
cute.
as well.
He's so sweet.
You love his little mohawk.
Yes.
It's a like floppy mohawk. It's very sweet.
Mohawk.
Mohawk.
Mohawk! He's got a mohawk! Yeah, he's got a little mohawk, he's got dark brown fur, he's wearing this little jacket, he's just very small and round and little contented smile.
I love it.
He is round boy. We stand round boy in this household. I love him. I love him. He's
Guild of friend-shaped animals.
Yes!
Guild master.
yes. He's
Guild of
wonderful.
Friends.
Guild of Friends. I love him.
That's us.
Okay.
Yes, Guild of Friends. Sorry.
So, you make your way up to Leodegrance, and I think through experience, he is so happy that you've dealt with this problem, because now it means you can go get the rest of the council, and they can come back from wherever they've been hiding, like cowards, and start making Aspen Grace run again. He's so happy you've dealt with the wolf. He takes you to the Aspen Grace Council storerooms, and he says, please take anything you want from the stores that you can carry for your supplies. I wish you all the best on your journey. I could not believe, honestly, that you have dealt with this so expediently. This wolf has been here for 2 weeks and 2 days, and he's gone. It is a blessing. Thank you so much. And
Well, it just goes to show how what good results you can gain from diplomacy.
in the future, we will send for help at Blueberry Pond if it is suitable. If all of the toads are as good as you, it will be perfect for us.
Of
So
course, I would say the upstanding knights of Blueberry Pond. I'm, of course, humbled to be one of them. And I would say that all of my fellow Knot Knights are equals, if not greater, and more benign individuals than even myself.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for this, and my praise to you. Anyway, please take anything you want. I will explain it to the council. Worth more than your weight in grain. And you look at the storerooms, and they are quite bare.
Oh no.
The room is large enough for, I'd say, several hairs to fit into. And then there's shelves as well. And a lot of the shelves are bare of... They have jars on them or boxes, but the boxes are empty. There are some dried slices of apples. There's like a bag of grain, of wheat, and of oats. The oats is half full. There are some tools. If you want to get one tool, I could let you take a tool if you want to invent one that would be in here for you to have.
I think I might, because I ended up losing my wrench, remember? Like it was broken and...
Oh, that's true. And you've
So if you
lost
think
your
of something
backpack
that
now.
Yeah.
a semi-farming, semi-tree dwelling community could have in here that would have been donated by one of the denizens.
Can I get a
Right.
grappling hook?
Oh my god.
Yes. You have a grappling hook and rope.
Why?
It is... it's going to take a little bit of bending. It's originally meant to be used as a hoist, so it's a claw rather than a hook. But if you bend the claw open, you could use it as a grappling hook.
I'm sure we could make something work with that. Balthazar?
Like Lutzen, you could definitely retrofit it to be a grappling hook.
Yeah.
It's originally for lifting like heavy objects into the trees.
Oh, this has got potential.
I won't have to use my tongue anymore to climb.
Oh.
What would they have?
Would they have like? Are there any like small kind of rodent-sized sickles for like harvesting berries and grass and things?
Shit.
I was
There
thinking like
is
a sickle or a scythe.
So there is a. It's interesting. There is a scythe-like. It's in between a scythe and a sickle. It seems to be designed so that beasts of different sizes could get different uses out of it. So, like, a field mouse with other field mice might be able to use it as sort of like a saw. A rat might be able to use it as a scythe. A larger animal, like a hedgehog, might be able to use it more like a sickle. So it's designed for multiple animals in mind. Pipistrelle, with your bat wings, this feels unwieldy, but you could maybe get like a soaring motion out of it. Lutzen, you might be able to use this as a scythe.
Okay, so probably too big to replace the claw that I lost like 200 million years ago.
It has its own usage and variety of usage. It is mostly made of wood, and there is it has a copper blade that has iron hot welded onto the edge to give it a sharper, sturdier edge.
Ooh,
okay, so yeah, pretty damn big then for just for little old me. Are there any sort of small?
Can I suggest a weapon for Pipistrelle?
Yeah, go
ahead.
for it.
If you had like maybe something that's kind of like a mace, but could also be used in a game with a ball, you could be a bat with a bat.
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 That wasn't a serious.
Maybe it'd be something for like patting down the ground, like patting. I don't know, like a little.
I mean, you could get like a piece of wood, like just
that's
like
true.
you could
Do that
batter
with-
anyone with a piece of wood. Fine.
I feel like it's such a weird image, but I think a bat with a mace could be really cool.
Yeah.
A bat with a mace, God.
Will it be quite
Like-
heavy
But
though for
her
flying?
hands are so tiny.
I've got-
Well, for holding onto the claws and then this sort of swinging action of like you fly up and then whoop bang.
She should
I
have
just
some
got-
kind,
it's just got
she
like
should have
a-
some
like a
kind of
rope.
chain or something. Like
Ball and
something-
chain.
Ball and
No,
chain.
no,
Flail.
I'm thinking, oh god, they should never leave the ground.
No, never. Like
More
the,
like a.
the reason I was thinking about because you can get these like little tiny sickles that are like literally handheld for harvesting berries. I was just wondering if there was anything like that, even just like a small like a knife for cutting through reeds. Because I feel like any big heavy tool like Pip's just not going to be able to use because it's just too big and too heavy. It's not actually useful for her. But like small light knives and sickles and stuff.
Yeah,
would be good.
what if like a beast equivalent of like a machete to just kind of chop down through
Yeah.
thicker
So
plants.
you have a look. You do find sort of like a paw held hook knife. It is gonna be interesting for you to use because your hands and your claws are so small. It's never you're never gonna be able to use something perfectly like this if you're kind of like up and moving around. You kind of the reason why your parents can be tailors is because they can sit down and use both their foot claws and their hand claws or their wing claws in kind of like a four-limbed usage. So you have this and you can use it, but just bear in mind that it might be difficult if you are in flying,
If I'm airborne.
using it with your feet claws, or if you have to be balancing, if that makes sense. If you don't have use of all of your claws.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think like it was like kind of like she's still thinking about replacing the claw that she had, because the good thing about the claw is it was made of a fine but kind of sturdy wood and metal blend, which was good for bats because it meant that she could keep kind of airborne but also have a weapon if she needed to defend herself. But yeah, like on the ground, like imagine if stuff attacks them now, she's she'll stay and help her friends. Like she's not going to be doing her kind of her avoid and evade tactics. So yeah, no, that would be good. That would be cool.
Yeah.
I will has, please.
So you have a berry picking hook knife, we'll call it.
Nice.
And it has sort of like a semi-serrated edge on the inside curve for like sawing through thicker bits of branch.
Oh, that's cute.
Neat.
Where there might
Okay.
be thorns or like poisonous, like thistle stinging stuff.
Yeah.
Where you don't want to chomp through it yourself.
Berry
Interesting.
picking hook kniff.
I'm thinking
Nice.
for Lutzen, because I don't know if you'd have a weapon per se as much as it would be. It'd be definitely more of a tool than.
You can have a fifth tool. The weapon is just inspiration for character creation.
Well, because I gave away the Wii music box and my kind of gear stuff, so. I don't know. I just can't get the image of like a pitchfork out of my head. And I don't know why. It'd just be kind of funny.
You could have a pitchfork.
I don't know how
'Cause-
useful. Like.
Because good for a tool, but also good for warding things away, kind of, you know, because it's long. It's almost like a halberd
Spear,
or
yeah.
like a spear. Yeah.
Battle hardened Lutzen. Sure, let's go with like a wee pitchforky kind of thing. It probably is just like a fork, isn't it?
like
it's kind of
a gardening fork.
fork-sized, but it is a bit more balanced. It's wood and kind of pitchfork at the top. And this is for rats turning hay for nests. You would definitely... This is a common tool that you would have seen growing up as a rat, because or any kind of like mustelid rodent, because dried grass is really nice to bed down in, and it's really easy to change, especially when you've got young kids. So this is something that's quite common, but you're able to take it.
Yeah.
So you have a rat-sized pitchfork.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Nice.
You can call it a pitchfork, but we know that it's rat-sized.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. Because I can't think of anything else.
It's
It would be more fun.
like the pitchfork is like very trident shaped. It's not like three small prongs for stabbing. It's for like getting a very large scoop and then turning it over.
Okay. Interesting.
More than
Yeah,
like your
Balthazar-
tiny little rat paws could do on their own.
Balthazar would also like to take some slices of dried apple.
Oh, so it's
Oh.
presumed you can also take a food thing each. So
Yeah.
either to
Are
fill
there
your
any-
packed lunch slot or to fill an inventory slot.
Are there any more candied aphids?
That delicacy, no.
No.
There are some anything dried and staple.
Oh,
so
are there-
like dried apple slices. There are oats. There might be like some very withered carrots.
What about like are there any like dried plums?
I was thinking like dried berries, kind of.
Yeah.
I was thinking along raisins, but there wouldn't really be raisins necessarily.
Lots of like blackberries and raspberries though would be nice dried.
Are they?
Well,
I feel like
you get
there's
them in,
fruit
like,
leather.
muesli and
They've
stuff.
made fruit leather because I think
Ah.
a dried berry would just be really bleh, but a fruit leather would be tasty.
That's true. Okay.
So there's some strips of like fruit jerky, fruit leather that are made from berries. And they have all of the seeds in there as well, so you get all of the food out of them, all of the nutrition.
I think I might take a couple of a couple of bat-sized handfuls of some like fruit, some dried fruit, because delicious.
So you can add fruit leather to your food.
Yay!
Lutzen, what food do you take?
I'm thinking. I don't know. I'm trying to think what would be like a nice little snack, because it's all kind of preserved stuff, right?
There's like seeds as well. There might be like some cracked or baked seeds that aren't suitable for replanting.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe some like baked seeds, like kind of
Ooh.
put like maybe some like I was thinking like maple baked, but obviously not maple sap, but some sort of kind of sweetened seeds.
Pine, maybe?
Yeah, something like that. Kind of just kind of like left to like bake out in the sun or like on a hot
We will
stone
say
or
sap
something.
baked. We'll say sap baked because I know there are trees
Yeah.
that you can
Yeah,
get
there's,
a
like,
sweet
sweet sap.
sap from that are local to Scotland that you can tap.
Yeah, I like that.
Even
Are these pocket
Because
items or are
it's on
these
the-
carried things?
I'm on foraging TikTok and I know foraging tree sap sweet UK. I'm googling it. Sycamore.
Ooh, yummy.
sycamore sap can be drilled, and it gives you a natural sugar, and it's a water source as well.
Interesting.
Yum yum.
And are these pocket items or carried ones? I can never remember.
These would definitely be carried items. Pocket is small enough that many of them can fit in your hand. It is key, a feather, a twist of wire. It is. These are more like actual items that you're carrying. So like a bottle of sap, a thing of this.
Yeah, cool. I will take some of that.
This would fit in your packed lunch slot. If you already
still
have
some
food,
trail
then you
mix.
can put it in your carried items.
Yeah, I've still got some trail mix left, I think.
I think I've got. Yeah, I think I'll have to. Actually, I'll put this in my.
Lovely.
It's in my packed lunch bit. Yum.
Yeah, maybe a little sweets.
Yum.
But yeah, I think kind of. I don't think Watson would take as much. Seeing how bare it is, probably wouldn't want to take like too much.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, people wouldn't be
Like,
taking
we'll
too
just
much.
kind of take what we need to get to.
Especially since we got provisions for a long journey back
Yes.
in Willowmoot.
That's true.
Just kind of enough to make it to
Bramblefork.
Bramblefork. That's it. Because it's Bramblefork and further on that we're headed.
Yeah, because we have to go from Bramblefork along through
Yeah.
the countryside to the edge of Loch Katrine. Yeah.
That's it. So yeah, because we could easily get more resources and food and stuff there. I would imagine.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Okay. So
Shopping episode done.
supplies gathered. I think we have just enough time for a little scene on the way to Bramblefork.
Yay!
So,
Sauce.
you guys, I assumedly, are heading on the way to Bramblefork.
Yes.
Describe what route you're taking. So, I'm going to zoom the map in, but it's a little small. So, you are here at Aspen Grace. There
We
is
are
the
not
bend
on
of
the
the
map.
river.
We are on a different.
Oh,
Oh
you're
shit!
not?
The map is here. Never mind. Sorry, you brought us back. Sorry, I didn't notice when it changed. I'm dingus.
So you are at Aspen Grace, which I am clicking on. This red route is originally the route that you planned. You have sort of hills that you could cross directly towards Bramblefork. You could follow the river up towards Bramblefork, or another route if you want to. The terrain here is mostly open hills and grassy plain.
Right.
Oh,
probably-
flashbacks to the knot log we had to deal with the last time we were in long grass.
The knot log? Oh god, the knot log.
The knot log.
No. Wasn't just traumatized from all sides.
Okay.
Open to discussion, really.
I mean, I feel like because the red route is
Kind of path of least resistance.
yeah, and it's like it is partially it is still kind of a road.
Yeah, more pub.
Like when I say road, it's like it's like beasts have definitely walked here, so it's like a little bit more trodden. But like it was when we then got to it's like when we actually get to Bramblefork, then we'll have to go basically cross country.
Yeah.
Because I think we figured way back when we were charting the path to Aspen Grace from Willowmoot that it will be faster to follow the
Yes.
walked path, because otherwise we'll have to be fighting, like, we'd have to go through a river, have to ford a river, and
Yeah, definitely. Which would take a while, particularly
guys.
because like for us because we are not like.
I mean, I guess you could fly over it. It's just Lutzen. Yeah.
I mean, rats can swim, but I think after what we just experienced with the pike, is Lutzen ever actually going to go near a river
No.
ever again?
I was gonna say, like, I think if it comes up in conversation of like, oh, we can walk by the river, I think lots of them will kind of definitely shy a little bit and kind of like shiver.
Aw.
It's like, I'm not so keen to be so close to the water, but it's the fastest route, so that's fine.
I think like so long as we're safe, because like the good thing about at least Pip now is like actually fully like has full flight abilities. Like I can at least check the water to make sure that there's nothing in it.
Yeah.
To the best of our ability. So like at least walking by the river we should be safe enough.
Watson's just gonna become like a stinky rat now that's like scared of everything.
Stinky rat. Oh.
Smelly rat.
Baby.
Smelly rat.
Baby.
Smelly rat.
Okay, so you're going to walk by the river, or mostly along the beaten path.
Yeah,
I think so.
that makes the most sense.
Okay.
Especially because
So-
the shape that Watson's in wouldn't make sense to take a potentially more dangerous route.
Yeah, I think we need to take a easier route for poor Lutzen.
I'm going to go to my
Probably.
list
The
of
pop baby.
and
debate.
Gandairs, and we
That was a wee Schitt's Creek reference
are
if anyone got it.
going to have a little mini scene.
Ooh.
I'm going to roll.
Oh no. Oh no.
Roll.
Oh no, 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 no.
3d7.
Oh, good music. It's very witchery.
We've got 7, 4, and 3. I'm going to go to my Vice and Virtue book. Because I have a test print of it now, which is really exciting.
Ooh.
And your fortunes are, and I will type them out afterwards, but I'm just going to read them out so I can remember what they are. Your fortunes are... Bird with a broken wing. The end of a beast.
Oh,
And food, fighting, and flattery.
Ooh.
So,
jeez.
bird with a broken wing.
End of a beast sounds threatening and or like kind of morbid. Like it's either the remains of something or we run into half of something.
Or lizard's tail.
Oh no.
Oh god, literally just a disembodied lizard tail.
Well, that's what they do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is what they do. They shed their tails.
Still wriggling about.
Mm.
Oh,
You put that sentence back in your mouth.
Take it back. Take it back now, yards. I don't know. Bird with a broken wing. That sounds sad.
Yeah.
End of a
God,
beast.
what was the name of that really sweet little cultite who we saved after
who
the
was
fire?
a knight as well.
Who was a knight, yeah, from the
Oh.
south.
Oh gosh, I don't remember his name.
I can't remember his name, but like, God, I hope it's not him. If it was like Bird with a Broken Wing,
no!
like that would be awful. Or like End of a Beast. What if it was the bird? I think about
Oh
that.
no.
bird. I don't know. I'm kind of these all have enough of an intrigue that I'm kind of torn in three ways because food, fighting, and flattery is so
Yeah.
Very
like,
knightly.
We could just roll a d3.
We could actually. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you guys have any strong inclinations either way? Because I'm very much torn.
Yeah, I'm kind of split.
I kind of like the sound of food, fighting, and flattery.
I am.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, yeah. No, I am leaning to that. Actually, it's intriguing.
Okay, I'm very happy to go with the majority on this one because that is a very intriguing one.
Yeah, stay it.
Okay. So you set out of Aspen Grace with Leo de Grants waving to you from the branches above and a couple of the other hares, kind of bidding you farewell, and you start hiking out onto the road. The first few hours is familiar territory. You've been up and down this path a few times now to see what's his face, the wolf, and you went further to try and catch a fish, and well, we know how that went. There comes a point where you are passing the river where the pike was, and you see a rather bashful pair of otters on the other side of the river see you coming.
Oh no!
And they sort of turn their backs and are very busy doing something, gutting a fish on the river. They're very much not looking at you.
I think Pip, like, seeing those otters, because I imagine that is the two brothers whose name I have forgotten, sadly, but she is going to, like, narrow her eyes a little bit, but she's not going to engage. She's going to, like, fine, you guys abandoned us. Like, she has, like, this little, sort of slightly salty inner monologue. I don't think she wants to point them out to Ludson, though, because, like...
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't, unless Ludson like has seen them. Like I think she's just gonna pretend like they're not there.
I think he's just
Like-
kind of.
like
I think
they're
he's kind of very warily watching the river.
Oh,
Mostly.
no!
Just like, just out of like, just caution, you know.
Yeah, that's
like
fair.
vividly scared, but not loving
Hudson,
it.
make a cunning roll for me. Cunning is about
Oh,
being aware of your
beans.
surroundings.
Oh, beans. Can't go.
Beans.
It's a success.
I love the idea of Ludson saying "oh beans." By the way, that is so sweet. Oh beans.
You're pretty sure that there aren't any pike in the river right now.
Okay.
Wherever it went, it has either swum back where it came from or is further upriver.
Oh no.
You're
That's
not...
right, you little bastard.
Yeah. Yeah.
You stay in the water.
Don't
Okay.
grow legs.
Oh my god.
Has because I'm a little nosy so and so. Has Pip noticed that Ludson is like watching the water, kind of slightly with sort of some sort of trepidation?
I feel like it's... You have been traveling with Lutzen for a few weeks now. Well, not a
Yeah.
few weeks, for a few days at least. make a cunning roll for me.
Okay.
And I'm letting you make this because you're a nosy so-and-so.
Can I tag my shrewd gaze, because this is basically all Pip does is observe people and make assumptions.
Okay, I'll let you have advantage.
Thank you.
Was tempted to say it's a straight roll, but
Dang it! Are
well,
you
you
serious?
got complication anyway. So yeah. I'm gonna say that you don't necessarily notice. You're a little bit too wanderlust right now. You do notice that Lutson's on edge, but not that he's staring at the water.
Into the
You just
water.
feel he
Okay.
might still be a little bit shaken up from the events of the last couple days.
Makes sense. Okay. Can in that case then, like, because obviously she doesn't realize that like he's staring at the water, can she like put a reassuring little paw on like kind of what sort of, because Lutson's so much bigger than her, like on his forearm, what would be his forearm as a little rat, just, you know, it's like a gentle pat. It's like, it's okay, we are here, we're safe.
And the reassurance is steadying Lutson.
Yeah.
You still stay quite far from the riverbank, though.
Yeah,
The
that's
farthest on the right from it. You follow on from the riverbank. How fast are you guys traveling?
Well, I think at a pace that's comfortable for Lutson.
Yeah, I don't. Can I just like ambling or like just walking casually? I don't think it would hurt too much. I don't know. I guess it's not like a leg injury necessarily, but it's like
It's more
if
like,
he
I
was
suppose,
running, it would hurt.
yeah, it'd more be kind of, I'd be worried about like Ludson moving too fast and like potentially opening up those stitches.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I would say, yeah, probably like it's just a sort of a gentle kind of,
Yeah,
not a
just a
slow
standard
walk, but just like a sort of a walk, an amble.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the first day passes by fairly okay. You're going slower than you normally would to give Lutson the time he needs to walk. And you do have to take breaks, Lutson. Your side starts to ache, especially with the heat of the day. And you make it to about, 1/3 of the way there when you have to camp for the night. Describe what kind of precautions you take, how you set up camp.
Nowhere near a riverbank, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, well, I suppose somewhere that we can kind of get some water, obviously, because we need to kind of.
Yeah, we'll need to drink during the night, that's for sure.
Yeah, but just kind of just off the beaten path, maybe just in like a little clearing if there is. I suppose it's all clear.
Do we
yeah.
actually want to be closer to the beaten path? It's not like we're afraid of bandits robbing us, like in a fantasy game.
That's true.
We don't want to be off the beaten path because that's like where things live that want to
That
eat
is
us.
true. Yeah, the bandits are in the.
I'm imagining we're probably just slightly off the path then, because if there's sort of tall grass that we're walking kind of through, like there must be kind of like we could sort of clear out a little bit nearby and sort of make a little fire and things like that.
Do we want to make a fire though? Wouldn't that alert predators to us?
Good point. Let's not do that.
Well, we do need to make some boiled water.
We do. Oh, that's true. We do need to boil water.
Watson can use the cleanest things out.
Yeah.
I wonder if
there's any way we could have a fire that doesn't let out too much light. If we could sort of like half cover it.
You probably know what. If we settled down early while it's still lighter, it wouldn't be too much of a beacon necessarily.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So
And
before
then-
night really falls, it is summer. And it won't get dark until like
exactly.
11. So.
And then I'm sure there's probably enough stuff that we could probably maybe we could scavenge that wouldn't smoke as much. But I guess if it's all dried leaves and things, or dried grasses, it's maybe is what it is.
I guess it's just a case we just have to be careful.
Yeah, just keep an eye out.
Just keep an eye out for stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so who goes out to gather materials and who sets up the camp?
Balthazar's gonna set up camp because he would do that as a squire.
Oh.
Let's not try and give like a gentle hand in helping get set up, just like organizing the bits and bobs.
I think Pip would go. I think Pip would go and like forage, get some dried leaves, and maybe see if there is any like seeds or things around to toast, etc.
So I want you to make a cunning roll for me, Pipistrel. And I want you, Balthazar, to make a vigor roll with advantage because you're doing rote routine and you're getting helped by Lutzen.
Yay, thank you. Do you want to roll first, Pip, or shall I roll first?
I will roll first. I don't think I can tag anything. No, I can't. Hooray! A success!
No need to. A 9, a success. Okay. And just so we can get the rolling out of the way, if Balthazar, you want to go ahead and roll.
Yeah. Oof.
Oh,
Well, hey, success.
Oh, barely.
So,
Thank you, Lutz.
you are used to using your half of your breastplate as sort of like a shallow dish to cook things on now, and you're a little bit dehydrated from the day, and you forget to take your tunic off of the breastplate when you're about to put it in the fire.
oh God!
And Lutzen, you just sort of like carefully pluck it off and away, and sort of like neatly fold it out and avert a minor crisis. But yes,
That's
you set up
adorable.
camp successfully with kind of like dried twigs, and you clear a lot of the ground so that none of the sparks can light any of the nearby brush on fire.
Oh,
Again.
flashbacks.
What's really is just a problem child at this point. Like,
He is
And
a
Pip
chaos
Patrol, you
baby.
return.
Yes.
You
Chaos
return with say like
Goodies. Hopefully.
you don't find any food. There is actually surprisingly very little on bushes, in the ground, buried, or anything you can forage, even insects. You can hear them, but they're loud, but they're distant. If that makes sense? They're
Yeah,
very
makes
sparse.
sense. Okay.
You find maybe like one grasshopper, which is not really much food.
Not really.
And you kind of come back from your foraging with like a necessary like firewood as well, which they use to make the fire, and it's all safe.
Yeah, yeah.
And you will have to break out some of your supplies. So what are you guys gonna eat?
I think I'll share a bit of this this fruit leather that I have, which I imagine is, probably quite tasty.
hmm.
Don't need to cook it, just eat it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think what's not
So
going
I'd
to hand
say-
out some trail mix and maybe like scatter a few of the baked seeds just through it as like a little mixy pot.
Yeah. And like Pip will be sharing like whatever she has.
So you
Or-
boil water from the river so it's clean. Lutzen, you wash and clean your wound, which has weeped a little bit during the day. And you all bed down to sleep. Or do you? How do you organize yourself? You
Do
go
we
to
want
sleep,
to
you-
take? Do we want to take watches like Predator watch just in case?
Hmm.
As a thought, I don't know what you guys think about that.
Balthazar would be totally fine with taking watch. I don't know how good he's gonna be at it, but he'll still do it.
We could sort of take it in turns, so like everybody gets to sleep for a few hours, and then everybody
Yeah.
has a watch for a little bit. Because like
Maybe like 3 short watches almost.
definitely like Pip will volunteer to watch at the darkest part of night because she's
Yes.
a bat. So
That makes sense. Yeah.
Balthazar will be fine taking the last watch because he's fine waking up early.
Okay. I think maybe through like setting up all the camping stuff, obviously you guys have maybe more lots of kind of been resting through that, so he'll just stay up for the first one.
yeah, you can sort of
So,
redo.
lots and Pip, and then
Yeah.
yeah, and he'll just
So-
kind of do like tend to his wounds and stuff while he's doing all that in the first rewatch.
Well, in that order, I want you guys to make cunning checks for me to see how aware of your surroundings are. And
Oh,
because you're tending your
beans.
wounds, I want you to make your cunning roll at disadvantage, Lutzen.
Bollocks.
Okay. Can I tag my eye for detail?
That's...
or natural curiosity? And just like keeping an eye out for things?
Tell me how your natural curiosity is helping here. Because your eye for detail would be about tending your wounds successfully, I feel.
Okay. Natural curiosity. I think in just paying attention to the creatures that are around, the kind of sounds of and kind of trying to identify what insects and beasts are around, taking note of the kind of time and just how things are going. Maybe like weather patterns. If there's clouds passing, maybe you kind of knows what they are kind of indicative of.
I'll let you make
just
a strength
general.
roll.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's a success.
Yay!
4.
A success, okay. You get a little distracted star watching. It is a clear night sky. And because obviously there's no like street lights or anything like that, it's just blue cosmos in front of you. You get a bit distracted looking at the Milky Way.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you keep on it, and by the time that the stars are out really in force, you go and wake up Pipistrelle for her watch. So, Pipistrelle, I would like you to make a cunning roll for me.
May I make a cunning roll with tagging my staying alert? Because it is the night. It is the night time, and Pipistrella's a bat. She's got them big old ears, and she will definitely be the only thing
This
she will
is
be paying
definitely
attention to.
your area of expertise.
Yeah.
Especially flying so often at night. I'll let you have advantage.
Thank you. Oh, thank God.
A 1 and a 7. So a success. You keep an ear peeled, and occasionally to exercise your wings, have a little flap up and around, quite camouflaged against the night sky because you don't really go above the horizon. You just have a little circle around, and you can't really see any beasts in the distance. Your watch passes, and you wake up a sort of like squat, stone-looking Balthazar.
Cute.
All right, Balthazar, because he's been making the like little ribbit noises as he sleeps. He unsquats himself, gets up, does a few more kind of like squats just to feel awake. And he's gonna start his watch. He's going to go, once again, lots of squatting this night. He's gonna, because he's not gonna be walking, because that could alert anything, something, which he understands, so he wouldn't be patrolling. But he would kind of squat down to look, once again, like a rock or something. And just keep his eyes peeled. And if I'm not mistaken, toads are, I forget the name, but they're neither nocturnal nor diurnal. They are most active at dawn and dusk, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, wow.
So this is kind of his preferred time to be about.
Okay.
That's so cute.
I didn't know that. That's cool. So I'll let you have advantage. This all scans.
Yay, thank you. So is it a cunning check or?
Yes, it's cunning because it's being aware of your surroundings.
Oh!
Yes!
Critical success and complication.
Take
I'm
it.
gonna say that this exercise is actually part of the Mud Fury training, the aptitude test.
Yeah.
Because of the Boer War, there just wasn't enough time to go through the whole process. You were pushed into an apprenticeship with Lavinia, like many toads were, to meet demand. And so you didn't really ever get to go further in that process, but this is one of the first tasks, is staying still, watching, and being aware, and also doing it in a way that you are poised and ready to act and not stiff and locked up. And it's almost comforting to do this again, because you haven't done this for a while.
This is, based off of this, as my third skill for a desired job, could I do something like Dreams of Mud Fury?
Oh.
Yes, so cute.
I feel like the job would be aspiring Mud Fury, and maybe this would be like a trait that the Mud Furies exhibit, is like preparedness or something more specific than that.
Because I kind of like the idea of having a skill called like Aspiring Mud Fury, where he will kind of do something that he thinks is like really cool in Mud Fury, and I can tag it for that, where he's just like, I'm a Mud Fury! And...
I love it.
Yes.
It has strong I Am Worm vibes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh
it
my
has that
God,
same
yes.
energy.
Iron Worm?
Like
What?
your
When you were playing Jan.
Jan.
Oh, I understood Iron Worm.
Oh, Iron Worm. I mean,
Oh.
that could be another.
No, yeah, I am Worm. Yeah.
I am Worm.
I think I'd like that weird kind of adaptability of
I
I
like
am
it.
Worm, but Aspiring Mud Fury.
Yes.
I love this.
Fury on the brain.
Yeah.
Fury on the brain.
Okay, so
Mud
you
Fury.
also, though you do spot something. There is a little trail of smoke farther up the road towards Bramblefork. It's not big. It is thin, like a reed of white that plumes up, and it is very much dispersing and fading into the brightening, deep blue sky that is morning approaching.
Interesting.
He lets out a curious, he almost lets out a curious croak, but then remembers his aspiring Mud Fury training. And
Such a cute thing. Oh my god.
I know.
Goodness, it wouldn't be wise to go and investigate because he's here to keep watch for everyone else, but I think he's going to keep an eye on it. And when people start stirring, he'll be very excited to check it out. But he's not going to leave because the others are sleeping. You can't just go and look at it and see what it is.
You get the feeling that it's not like, 20 paces away, or like it's maybe a mile or more away.
Oh, okay, yeah. In that case, he kind of keeps it in mind, and is it in the direction we would be walking?
Yes, it's in the direction towards Bramblefork. Maybe somewhere like over here-ish on the map.
Okay.
If you're at the bend here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. He'll kind of note that and keep that direction in mind, and know that perhaps we are to expect to meet somebody or something, as in like an event or something.
Interesting.
Okay, so the next morning, it is again blue skies, blisteringly hot sun of the very end of this summer. Occasionally, a slightly cooler breeze rolls over your shoulders as you hike towards Bramblefork, signaling that autumn is on its way, but the sun is still glaringly hot above.
I am legitimately so excited for Beast Fables in autumn, by the way. I cannot wait.
Again, please describe the sort of where you're hiking.
So, how is Ludson feeling this morning? Like, how's his wound, and like, how did he sleep, etc.? Because I feel like that might dictate sort of how we...
Brian, would you care to fill
Make
the
a
blank?
vigor roll.
Beans.
Just a straight vigor roll to let us know how you're feeling.
Fuck.
Oh no!
Bad.
You're feeling sore.
Yeah.
You haven't gotten worse because you have the salve and you did clean your wounds.
Yes.
But you're feeling sore. It's achy.
It's just kicking in now. It's like the second day. Like it starts.
It's also
starts
really
kicking
uncomfortable
in.
to wear this jacket. Like, it was really cool when you got it, but now like it's sweaty and it's gross and it's clingy and it's not rubbing the wound, but it's like it feels really tight. Ugh.
No. That's not
You have the same sort of feeling as like dog with a cone.
Yes. I think Ludson is just kind of like, he's like,
Oh
just
no.
take it easy today.
Is it like getting to the itchy stage of when a wound is
Oh
healing?
no,
Like,
don't.
Yeah, like
Oh.
it's like post tattoo feeling when you're
Yeah.
like, I just want to rip my skin off.
I want to scratch it so bad.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no, that's actually I feel for Ludson in that, because that's the nasty stage of wounds
Yeah,
healing.
not
oh
fun.
No.
Probably just taking it chill today.
Yeah, so probably maybe walking a little bit slower than yesterday, just so Ludson can kind of like rest up a little bit, just because itchy, painful owies.
Yeah.
So
Balthazar would offer to carry him.
Oh, princess style.
Oh my god.
Lutson, you offer to carry him.
Balthazar.
Balthazar even.
And Balthazar.
There is a little. Roll the cunning roll for me.
Okay.
Me or
Wait,
Not
or
Lutson, Balthazar. Sorry, Balthazar. Roll cunning.
Yes.
Ugh. Okay, I'm not having a terribly not smart day today.
The brain cells are working.
The brain cells are going.
There are two little toads on each shoulder, or like one toad on each shoulder. One says it would be the right and just thing to support your comrade. The other says self-care is important. Be cautious of how much you take on. And then the but righteousness is loud.
Yeah. And as this is happening, you guys are just kind of walking next to Balthazar, and he says, "Yes, righteousness is the way to go." Suddenly, and he's going to then offer to carry Lutson.
That's so cute.
Oh, I think. I don't know. I think Lutson will be like hesitant, given that it's like it's sweaty, it's gammy, it's kind of like I think he might turn down the offer, just in the sense that like it might like rub up against it. He's maybe just being a bit cautious of it being so fresh.
Oh.
But if I get a bit tired down the line, then I will definitely take you up on that offer.
And I will definitely accommodate such a request, my friend. Also,
You are too kind, Balthazar.
I forgot to say it earlier because I was really out of it. But when I was partaking in my hours of watch, I saw a plume of smoke in the direction that we're headed. Perhaps there are some beasts camped up, or some manner of small settlement that we might come upon. So keep your eyes and ears peeled, and noses sharp.
Nose sharpened.
Can I imagine that Balthazar probably kind of gestured in the direction.
Yeah.
Can Pip take a little like hop into the air, a little sort of hover to see if there is
Surveillance Pip.
Yeah, surveillance Pip, to see if she can spot anything.
Make a cunning roll for me, with you flying in the air.
Okay. I don't think I can tag anything. No. Yes, Pip!
You are getting
Pip.
used to gliding now. You're getting better at like flying up and then letting warm air
hold me
carry you for a bit, as opposed to having to flap all the time.
Oh, Brillo. Flying
so
skill
you-
upgraded.
Well, it's getting back to where it used to be.
Yeah, true.
Before you were injured. So you're flying, you're gliding, you look and you see some kind of carriage? There's several beasts. You can't make them out. They're very small. They're little brown blobs over a hill. There's a blue carriage that is rolling with them, or a blue blob that's bigger than the rest. You're not quite sure how big they are. They're very small. You might meet them. They're traveling towards you, and you might meet them this evening.
Oh, okay. I think Pip would probably come down to sort of relay all that information and sort of say, like, well, there's certainly someone up there, some sort of contraption, some sort of carriage type thing. I don't know what beasts there are, though. But she sort of mentioned that if we keep kind of going this way, that we'll probably run into them at some point.
Balthazar will kind of be pleased and say, well, I do believe this is the most fun part of traveling, is meeting fellow travelers as well. I will be very happy to meet whoever these fellows are.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, well, it was good that you, at the very least, it's good that you spotted them, Balthy, just in case, because you never know. Sort of Pip being super overly suspicious as per usual.
Balthazar just kind of blinks and says, I mean, what do you mean you never know? It's just fellow travelers.
She laughs.
It's like you saw a giant, scary behemoth of any type.
Pip just kind of she just giggles and says, "Oh, never mind." There's no point trying to talk him round.
So you continue on your journey, and it is hot today.
Ugh.
It is swelteringly sticky.
Ugh.
And you are moving further up, and you notice that the river you're traveling by abruptly disappears underground. It's not marked on the map.
Oh.
You see that the riverbed used to go one way, and then entirely dries as there's some kind of crack or cave or something that's been breached, and the water is now flowing into. Damp moss sort of slicking the edge of the rocky entrance, so to speak. The path continues along the old dried out riverbed, which is now bone dry, caked. The actual mud at the bottom has cracked from all the heat.
Balthazar will make sure to get a last soak in before we continue on this just desert as far as Scotland is concerned.
Oh Oh, true.
So you soak in the water. Lutsen, I want you to make a cunning roll for me.
Oh.
Right. Where's cunning there? Reading. Good. Okay, that's success at a 5.
On instinct, you search the water.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like a nervous compulsion. But you don't see any fish. You're fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Okay.
You notice the water doesn't like drop into this cave. It is like a smooth transition. It just feels like the rocks have opened up here
Yeah, just kind of
somehow
shifted.
that it hasn't before, and the water's kind of made and pushed its way to make a newer, more direct route towards Loch Katrine.
Interesting.
You get your last soak around midday, and you travel for 3 or 4 more hours during the day, and the river doesn't reappear.
Wild.
Instead, you're now
bizarre.
moving through a very dry, grassy kind of hill. And you are thirsty.
Oh no.
I was
Very
gonna say, should we have like taken a wee? Do we have like little like water skins or something like a kind of equivalent? So just take like a
I have
little.
my beautiful mugs and bowl.
That
I
is
use.
true.
That is true. Yeah.
So if
Well-
it disappears, maybe we should take a wee mug with us just to kind of.
I don't
Yeah.
think that would be particularly good because then we're just carrying a mug while walking. That sounds really inconvenient.
I mean, I suppose while Balthazar is kind of like while Balthazar was sort of soaking in the water, while we still had it, like I imagine it probably would have been a good idea just to kind of quickly take some sips of water and just sort of cool off a bit
Yeah.
to walk in the sun for however long. But like that's obviously not going to do very much on a hot day when we're all kind of.
Yeah, I feel like if it's a warm day, we would have taken a wee break there to.
So
Yeah.
you refreshed and drank your fill at the river. I want everyone to make vigor rolls with advantage for how well they hike in this
Okay.
drier part of the road.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I got a 3 and a 2.
I got a 5 and a 3.
I got 2 2s. Both
So
complications.
everyone's on complication. I'm
No,
gonna say
Balthazar's
despite.
a
No,
success.
Balthazar has a success.
Oh, what about Balthazar
I've
again?
got a
A
5.
5.
And a 2. This is disadvantage.
Oh, these said
I thought you
advantage.
said advantage.
Oh, you said with
No.
advantage.
Oh, advantage. No, sorry, my brain is not working correctly.
Oh,
Sorry.
you said.
I did say advantage because you had the break. Sorry, and then
Yeah.
my brain was like, no, that means disadvantage. Sorry. Crosswise, yes, Balthazar has a 5. So Balthazar, I think it's because you've got that padding and it's kept water on you as you've been walking that you have done so well. But Pipistrel and Lutsen, you are parched. Like your mouths are sticky and gummy.
Not nice as very beasties.
And you've passed the sandy stage of thirsty to the gummy stage of thirsty.
Oh,
and Balthazar,
no.
you are well watered and well hydrated, but you're still going to need water at some point in the future. I'm going to say that pardon me, Lutsen and Pipistrel, you both take a vigor damage.
No.
Wait, I can't take another one. I'll have to roll.
So this is you'll have to roll.
Fucker. A complication.
You're thirsty, but you push
Okay.
past it.
Okay.
You've worked longer hours in hot workshops before. You'll be fine. I think.
Okay. Okay.
So
What
you
do you
don't
think?
get an injury. You don't get an injury.
Okay.
It is about 7 or 8 o'clock at night. You are very tired from hiking all day. That you get towards the midpoint of where the like the crossover point that you expected, Pipistrel, for the caravan. And as you cross a hill, you see below on the gentle slope there is a campsite set up of wildcats, of forest cats.
Oh, wow.
There are 6 of them. And they are all circled around, or kind of in a semicircle around this blue carriage. And they have a small fire going. The smell of fish kind of washes over the hill on a cooler, more autumnal breeze. And you see just kind of, they have a fire going, and it's getting towards dark, but it's not dark enough that they have like shadows and silhouettes, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
like
on the
that
crest
blue
of this
dark.
hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, from our vantage point, like, are they, do they have anything that could, like, distinguish them? Do they have any, like, clothing or tunics that have, like, anything on it that might let us know if they're, friend or foe?
Make a cunning roll for me.
Can I tag my unassuming presence? So, like, she might sort of get a little bit closer and, like, peer around, like rocks or cliffs or wherever we're standing, just to kind of get a better look.
Oh, so you're gonna try and that would be kind of like sneaking up on them, just so you know.
Oh, well, like, she's not trying to get close. She just wants to like get closer, just to like have a look and see if she can see anything.
Well, this is what I'm saying. It feels like, just so you know, if you do this could be read as like sneaking up because you're trying to get closer and peer behind from behind a rock.
Okay, maybe I won't do that then.
So that's not a bad thing. It's just like that's how I'm reading the intention, because you're trying to get a read on them without them knowing that you're getting a read on them.
Yeah,
because you could just walk up to them.
Yeah,
that's true.
Balthazar would suggest, but we can. I can smell the scent of fish, so I presume that these wildcats mean no harm to smaller beast folk like us. We should come over and say hello, and we do have some food or goods that we could share. I could give them some pottery. I'm sure they would really like it.
Yeah, Pip kind of thinks on her actions and says, "You know what, Balthazar, you're right. These, I shouldn't just assume that they might mean us harm. We have just been spending a lot of time with a, well, at the very least, a somewhat friendly wildcat." Obviously thinking of Flynn.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's I guess maybe we kind of just wander, because if they're on the path, we're kind of going to be wandering past them anyway. Maybe we could sort of camp nearby, safety in numbers and all that.
So
I think Balthazar would go to greet them.
Yeah.
So you go up to greet them, and one of the cats sees you approaching and peels off from the other five, wanders over and says, "Oh, I don't know who you are, but you may not approach the carriage of the Lady of Shalott. If you wish to camp, there is suitable ground to the other side."
Lady of Shalott, pray forgive. I'm from not around these parts. I'm afraid I'm not familiar with a figure of such magnanimity. Could you tell us more?
He kind of looks you up and down, the kind of the dust and the dirt that you've kind of picked up from the road, and says, "Well, I wouldn't assume you would know of the lady.
Some people say I don't know many things."
How rude.
And with all the malice that a foot servant could say, he says, "Yes, I can believe that. Shalott is to the south of the artery bowels and the green wall. Before you reach the summit, if you have a map, I could point it out for you, but it doesn't matter. We will not suffer strangers at the camp. You can stay on the other side." And you see over the shoulder that they have a large barrel of water.
Oh, no.
And one of the cats is sort of like dipping a paw in and licking to like drink from, lapping from.
My fine fellow, I see that we will respect your wishes to not camp nearby. However, I see that you have quite a large supply of water. It has been a very arduous journey today, and my companions, have found themselves quite parched after an entire day in the sun. Would it be possible to barter for some of the water that you have?
The foot servant sort of looks you up and down. I want you to make a willpower roll. You have disadvantage. This is to try and convince him to barter with you.
Can
would
Lutzen
like
kind
to-
of chip in? Oh,
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
so Lutzen was going to maybe chip in and say, I have an injury that needs to be tended to with some clean water, so, and he'll kind of like show his side and maybe like kind of open the little jacket a wee bit and just show the
that'll
kind of
make him hate us more.
What do you think?
We're diseased, not only are we dirty.
Oh,
We're filthy travelers.
Well,
Okay, so you
Playing
can't
to
have double
Either way.
disadvantage, but that would have given you extra disadvantage.
Oh,
Well, does that
really?
wanna-
Bugger.
Yeah.
I would have wanted to tag something. Does that mean that
I mean, like, you can't have double disadvantage, but if you could, it would have
Okay.
given you. Like, it's only, it's yeah. So, what would
So
you
you
like to
say
try
this
and
is a foot servant, and there is some manner of lady, and maybe as Balthazar kind of steps a little, he steps a little to point out this barrel of water, and this servant sees his armor and his crest, and I would like to tag chivalrous etiquette to kind of drive forward that I might actually be myself some manner of noble creature.
Important.
Okay. Yeah, you can make a straight willpower roll.
Yeah.
Willpower?
Success, you do as well as you can. The foot servant looks at Lutzen and looks like he's about to turn you away. There's sort of like a look on his face. And then he kind of, his eyes catch the glint of your breastplate. And he kind of goes, some strange manner of companions you have.
They're
Who
called
wants the lady?
friends.
The cat kind of, yes. Well, your friends are certainly unique. And sort of, with a toss, kind of like turns his head and stalks back towards the camp before sort of bowing slightly to a light ginger with sort of white whiskers cat closest to the blue carriage, and says something quietly to her, and she sort of nods and then kind of looks up, and the firelight catches her eyes and they glint, that kind of like green flash of like cat's eyes have, and sort of looks at you down her nose. The other cats turn and stare.
It's a little intimidating.
Does it look like they're just looking expectantly for me to walk over?
You get that vibe.
Well, Balthazar is undaunted by these staring cats, looking at them, back at them with his golden gleaming eyes and weird kind of horizontal pupils.
That's
And
fair.
he's going to motion to the others like, well, I suppose we could approach. And he's going to kind of straighten up and walk, with a knightly confidence that he has, but also because this seems to be kind of like some courtly stuff happening. He's actually kind of in his element, because this is what toads are all about.
That's very true, actually. Yeah, gosh, I didn't even think about that. I think Pip, like, just so she doesn't, because she's a little bit nervous being around all these much larger beasts. She'll be like, she will try and like, she's trying to imitate Balthazar's like energy, like sort of walking as upright and proudly as a small bat can.
So you approach, and the Lady of Shalott looks down at you and says,
Ooh.
"Oh, what manner of party are you to approach our camp?"
Can you remind me the name again, lady? Because he would have picked up on that.
Shalott. So
Lady-
Shallot.
Charlotte.
Like an onion.
Well, yeah.
Lady Onion.
Okay, yeah, Lady Onion. Well, Lady Charlotte, first allow me to thank you for approaching your camp. It seems that you are all rather guarded fellows, and we appreciate your hospitality. As for your question, I suppose I would describe us as a bit of a ragtag group. However, I am Balthazar, a knight of Blueberry Pond. This is my two fine companions, Lutzen the Craftpaw, and Pipistrel the Moon Messenger. We are on a important journey, a adventure, you might say, to recover a dangerous piece of technology that was stolen from our fine Craftpaw friend from the hands of people who might, beasts who might have vile intentions for them. It's a quest of utmost importance.
Make a willpower roll to like
Yes.
dramaturge this.
Yeah.
love
Let's see if I can tag anything.
Tag.
God, I wish I could tag my aspiring mud fury. maybe can I tag unexpectedly menacing, where they just kind of realize, like, they see his boar tooth hammer, they see the nicks on his armor, they see kind of Lutzen being battered, they see Pipistrel's kind of,
I feel like
any
on
kind
top
of nicks
this,
and stuff, and
the sun is just setting, and the shadow, as you're speaking, starts to grow out from you from the campfire.
Yes. Yeah. And suddenly they might be like, oh, we might be in presence of like an adventure hero, something like that. Like that's kind of the.
Okay.
So
I'll
it's
let
a
you have
willpower
advantage.
Yeah.
Willpower, yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, just as well.
That could have gone very interestingly. So the lady seems to nod and seems to warm is a strong word, accept your tale. Well, that is rather interesting. What is it you need?
Well, we have been traveling all day today in the blazing sun, and the river has went on an unexpected course since the map that we're using has been made. We were wondering if we could trade for some of your water supplies. Whether you would like to hear fascinating tales or would like to trade for items, we would be very happy to accommodate whatever it is that you might find yourself in need or desire of.
The lady regards you slowly and then flits her eyes between Pipistrel and Lutzen and says, well, lay out what goods you have and we can consider it, but Charlotte is a rather independent state and I don't believe you have anything we require.
Well, then perhaps it is unique items that you would like. Things to bring you joy or wonderment or good feelings.
And he's going to produce the pottery that he has. He does have among them a lovely cup with like paw print marks that could be the paw prints of a wild cat.
Ooh.
It comes with a little. It's like a clay teapot essentially. It comes with a little saucer.
That's adorable.
So that might be like an item of interest. And while he did want to use it for us, this is a very important thing, and his friends need water, and Lutzen needs help. He's going to produce the bottle of cider.
Oh no, we never got our broski
I still have one.
Oh, you do?
I have a bottle of cider still.
Well, Balthazar doesn't know that, but he thinks he has the last one. So he produces the cider, and he's going to describe the item, saying,
an astounding artisanal piece from Aspen Grace, made by the fine claws of an elderly squirrel artist, so you don't know when these are going to be, collection pieces, because he might go any day now.
Oh my god. Okay, so the lady gives a little flit of her eyes towards one of the other cats, a different foot servant, who kind of stalks over. This one has entirely black fur, and they kind of respectfully enter your kind of personal space to like look at the items. The cat. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, just Balthazar is kind of like picking stuff up and displaying it, just doing that. I'm gesturing right now. The thing of like you'd have like a hostess going like, "Wow, look at this! Ooh," and just kind of like picking it up and pointing to it, but he's doing it in a very like knightly manner.
Wow, that's so cute.
But he's just kind of like showing it, the way that like a knowing craftsman would. But he's just an appreciator.
Okay, so you hold these things up. The cat looks over them, takes one of the teapots in their foreclaws. It's quite small in their paws, and goes and kind of looks back to the lady and says, "Well, if I may say, a Gabriella might enjoy this. It's a little small." And the lady gives a small nod, and then the cat picks up the cider and turns it round and says, "No vintage, seems to be a home brew." And the cat considers it.
Vintage.
And says, "Well, if you say that this place is dry and there's no water to be had for another day, I shall give enough for you to drink for these things. That seems a reasonable trade.
Well, thank you very much for your generosity and for accepting our trade. And I know that my companions,
And he looks over at them.
will be very, very grateful as well. One of us is wounded, you see, so we would like to take the utmost and proper care of him. And staying hydrated is very, very important. And I know this as a toad, and also as somebody who has dealt with injured people.
So, you have enough water to drink. Do you want to try and trade something to get some more water to wash Lutzon's wound?
Oh, that was not enough for washing?
No, that's a significant amount of water to like wash his jacket and his wound.
Do we have any like other like a bandage or anything to act as like an intermediate? Like,
I think I've used up all of my poultices on like the initial
I have like
injury.
I have the mix. Like I have. Wait, did he give us some or just?
He did give you some, so if it's not in your inventory, I would add it in. You've got like the antiseptic poultice.
Okay.
But that's it's not gonna help because essentially you've already got poultice in there and it needs cleaning out.
Right.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay. I was thinking if we could have like a bandage or something to put like in between it for now, and then we wouldn't have to wash like just the wound, but wouldn't have to wash the jacket just yet.
You could try foraging something, some clean leaves.
Yeah,
That's true. I mean, I suppose like if Ludson doesn't want to go near the river, like that is something that Pip could do, potentially like on her own.
The river is
The
underground.
river's
right now.
underground.
Oh, of course, I forgot. Yeah, no, okay, sorry. Ignore
And
me.
also it would have to be boiled and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry, forget that.
I mean, I'm trying to see what I've got for. I have to get like some trail mix or like.
Yeah, like the only thing I have that I could offer at this stage is like, you know,
Do you have the cider?
do you need any messages delivered? Because it's like getting to night. It's getting to nighttime, and I'm a professional.
That is true.
Like maybe she needs to like, you know, send a message back to their little not kingdom, but you know what I call it.
I mean, but from what she says, that's like super to the south. We haven't heard any. This is beyond the map.
Oh, that is true. Oh god, that's a good point.
Yeah. So it is on the Bristly Woods map, the large one that's available if you go to. It's linked in the video description. But it is very far to the south. Almost as far as Summit. It's pretty much the bottom right corner of the map.
Oh god. Okay, so I can't do that in like one night.
No.
No.
It's maybe like 15 or 20 days by paw.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
wow.
probably like sort of 7 to 10 days on the wing. So, man, okay, no, I can't do that.
Well, you could. I mean, you don't know. You haven't offered.
I don't know.
I mean, she might need a message somewhere else, somewhere shorter.
Oh, somewhere local. Yeah, that's true. I think it's worth a try if we can get some more water. I feel like it's necessary because otherwise, like, Ludson's wound might go septic, and like that's a big problem.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think Pip would sort of, as demurely as possible. I think she'd sort of approach one of the foot. I say footman. You know, one of the sort of this quote unquote servant cats, and just says like, you know, if it would please the Lady Charlotte, and she'll sort of bring out her little moon medal. It's like, you know, I am a moon messenger. I don't know if it would be at all useful to you, but if you need a message delivered, I would happily trade my services for some more water to tend to my friend's wound.
And this she pauses at, and then says, do you know the area of your map?
I do, yes, very well.
I would ask that you take a message to New Dam. It's to the west and a little north from here. Unfortunately, on this trip, I didn't have the time to make it. If you could get it there within the next few days, that would be useful. They might be able to respond to me by the time I make it back to Charlotte. It would be for a Master Eden.
Okay. So New Dam. How do I do the little Araby thingy again?
So
Pingy thingy.
I think it's the
Oh, the-
little circle with the thingy in it.
Ah.
So
Oh
that's
yeah.
4 days by paw, about 2 days by wing.
4 days by paw, 2 days by wing. Okay. Oh, what do you guys think? Is it worth me going all the way to Newtown just to keep Ludson healthy? Because I don't.
I mean,
want
Ludson could
Ludson-
also offer up maybe trying to repair if there's anything they need repaired or like
Oh,
fixed
yeah.
on
That's
the way.
true.
Like,
See if there
like
might be
like service their cart. I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Like, because I mean, we could always offer that as well and be like, look, well, we can try and take the message, but
the
we do
thing
have
is,
like
with
a.
taking the message, like, do they expect you to just do it now? Because that's
Yeah,
like kind of out of the way. But maybe instead, if we can repair something for them, then
Yeah.
that would be better because it's immediate.
Let's might pipe in then, and we'll just say, well, we do need to be moving pretty swiftly to our destination. It's kind of on the way, but we can't guarantee it would maybe be in those couple of days. But you know, being quite handy, do you need anything perhaps repaired or fixed, or is your, you know, wheels all working nicely?
Do you still have your oil can?
I believe I do. I was just looking. I have a lot, like, I think too many carried items, so I was like, I think I've lost a few things I've forgotten to remove. But yes, I do still have oil can, I think, but I've used a fair bit of it, so there's probably some still
I'd
left.
say you could use up the last of it to
Yeah.
fix the squeaking wheels. Travel on the dry summer roads has definitely started to get stones grinding where they shouldn't be on the axles and things like that. If you used up the
Absolutely.
last of your can,
Yes.
you'd still have an oil can, you just wouldn't have any oil.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'll do that then.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay. And I'm going to say it happens automatically. It's not difficult. You service the van, even with a slight wound in your side. And the lady is not without compassion. She lets you wash and bandage your wound again before you service the vehicle.
Cool.
And with water, with your wound bandaged, and with all of your needs met, you're able to eat some more of your trail mix and your various food. You're able to camp a little bit further up the road from them, a safe distance, a respectable distance. And I assume you keep your own watches similar to last night, and you notice they have their own watches as well. And early in the morning, when the sky is still turning from dark black to blue, they set off, their cart not squeaking so at all, actually. Quite silent, apart from the of the wheels. You
I
notice
just want
that...
to say that, sorry, when Balthazar just gets up for his watch and like perches up, being a Mud Fury rock, he's going to wave to whoever is keeping watch in their camp.
Oh, so cute.
The it's another one of the cats a little smaller than the rest, and the cat sort of notices you wave and sort of looks around, notices there are other cats, and sort of gives a little paw flap back.
Oh, yeah.
Balthazar croaks happily.
Yes.
So
He's
sweet.
very,
Very
very
good.
pleased.
The cat sort of does a little nervous pace of the camp, back and forth, not really knowing what to do, a little awkwardly.
Balthazar just kind of continues his way. He's not like looking, at them at the
Yeah.
camp. Obviously looking at other places, but he just wanted to acknowledge a fellow watcher, I suppose.
Yeah.
That
I think
is adorable.
the cat doesn't know if it should come over and talk to you or if it should just stay, and it decides to stay. You get the feeling that it's a little bit younger than the rest.
Aw, God bless. I wonder if it's the one that the other one traded the mug for, because it would be smaller for it.
Oh, Gabrielle.
Yeah.
Not quite. It's still the same size. I feel by context interpretation, Gabrielle might be a kitten back at Charlotte.
Ah, cute.
It's baby.
So, I'm going to say that is where today's session ends. You wake up, or you all rested. You have all had a moderate rest, and with Lutzen with your wound bandaged, your vigor restores back to its normal.
Yay.
Lovely, lovely.
Does my vigor go back up 1 for having a
Yes.
moderate rest?
Because you've had a moderate rest, you can restore 1 stat back to normal, but because you guys had only taken like 1 vigor damage, then it's everything back to normal, basically.
Everything is back to normal. Hooray!
Yeah.
Feels good.
Lovely.
Yeah. You are hydrated, you're ready to go. You had like a breastplate full of water for the morning as well, and you are ready to make your way onto Bramblefork next episode.
Exciting.
Yes. Moving on up.
Okay. Well, I think that's going to be all from us today. I am Brian. I have been your narrator today. And it has been another pleasure to explore the world of Beast Fables. You can find all of my stuff at Dungeons on a Dime, doad.co.uk. You can see progress on Kickstarter for the Scurry role-playing game, which is something that we have written and we are illustrating, which is all set in the Bristly Woods, in the Beast Fables world. We've also got the Vice and Virtue digital rules available on doad.co.uk. And I've got a Patreon where I work on some cool stuff with Fraser as well. Speaking of Fraser, I have been joined by Ver, Atlanta, and Fraser today, and they will reintroduce themselves, starting with Ver.
Pips, everybody. I have been Ver. You can find me on social media at Verface at Twitter, Sticks and Sharks at Tumblr, and you can support me on Patreon at Verface. Similarly to last week, I will once again boost our a Kickstarter that I am part of, the Kindred Press 2021 comic collection. Over on Kickstarter, it features 4 comics by Scottish creators. I am an honorary Scot. Well, I mean, I've been living here for like 5 years now.
Exactly,
So
you are definitely honorary Scot.
I am, yeah.
Oh,
But it features indie comic creators from local indie comic creators. And I'm among them, and my comic Wolven Daughter is one of the comics in the lineup. I worked on it, pretty hard because comics are difficult. You can check out the Kickstarter and support it and get everybody's lovely comics and see some really cool stories and some really wonderful art from some really wonderful people. So once again, Kickstarter, Kindred Press 2021 comic collection. Please check it out. Thank you, Brian, for having me, and thank you, Atlanta and Fraser, for being beautiful, wonderful people.
Oh,
Yee.
oh shucks.
Speaking of beautiful, wonderful people, Atlanta, do you want to say goodbye?
Hello, I am a little squeaky beastie on the floor, otherwise known as Atlanta. You can find me on Twitter at Alpaca Scribbles, on Instagram at Alpaca_Scribbles. Nothing major to plug. Again, just I do have commissions open. If I don't have any slots available right at this very second, please do just drop me a message. I can add you to my list. Aside from that, yeah, thank you for a wonderful game. This was nice and fun and chill, and I just love something really fun about traveling in the Beast Fables world. Thank you, Brian, for a wonderful game. Thank you, Fraser. Thank you, Ver, for being just the loveliest of lovelies. Yeah. I'm looking forward to next week. I'm looking forward to our continuing adventure.
Onwards.
Last but not least, take us out, Fraser.
Hello, I am Fraser. I am also an illustrator, designery, drawy person. And you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Patreon under Lost Astronaut. Various underscores and things, but Patreon, Lost Astronaut, Instagram. I'm not going to go through them all. You'll find it. Also, please check out the Clockwork Order. Is another stream that I do with some friends. It's a D&D campaign that we're running. We also have our secondary show, which is actually tonight, the night we're recording this, What the Clock, where it's a kind of little talk show and just general tabletop chatting and all that kind of fun stuff. So you can check that out on Twitch. The campaign runs every Saturday at 7 p.m. GMT, so please go and check that out. Send some love. And
when
yeah,
he says
thank you
tonight,
everyone.
He means Mondays because
Monday,
this is
yes.
Wednesday. Sorry.
It's we do What the Clock fortnightly on Mondays, and then the Clockwork Order campaign is every Saturday. So yeah, you'll find all the information on our social media and stuff. But yeah, thank you everyone for playing, and thank you, Brian, for having us and hosting, and everyone for building such a beautiful world. It's so fun to explore as a little chaos rat.
Right. Well, thank you everyone, and that is goodbye from us. We will see you next Wednesday.
Hell yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Peace out.